Chapter 2391, Killing Their Way into the Mu Family, Retreat. The elder of the Xian family bellowed as his power swept Xian Lin and the dumbfounded Dongfang Shuiyu backward. In an instant, they disappeared. They retreated? All the onlookers were dumbfounded. They thought that the elder of the Xian family would make a move. They didn't expect him to retreat. Why would the elder of the Xian family retreat? They were afraid of Lu Ming and did not dare to take action? That's impossible, right? No one could figure it out. Lu Ming did not pursue him. His purpose in Aeon City was not the Xian family, but the Mu family. If the Xian family didn't want to die, he wouldn't care. The Mu family should have gathered all their forces this time. I hope the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect are also here. I didn't come here in vain. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the Mu family and chuckled. In the crowd, some people's eyes flickered, and then they left the place. These people were naturally the Mu clan. Following that, Lu Ming and Qiu Yu strolled around for a while before returning to their residence. The news of Lu Ming's return, how he defeated Xian Lin with one move, how he killed 3 true emperors with one punch, and how he even scared off one of the Xian family's great emperors spread rapidly. Not only did it spread throughout Aeon City, but it also spread throughout the Divine Mandate land, shocking countless people who heard the news. Lu Ming had broken through. Many people knew that Lu Ming had already broken through to the martial emperor realm. The celestial thearch's claim had been shattered. Would the Xian family make a move on Lu Ming next? Many people were guessing. Lu Ming's residence naturally attracted more attention. Many people were constantly paying attention to Lu Ming's residence and the progress of the situation. There were even many people who had rushed over from other places. In the meeting hall of the Xian family, a group of people were discussing something. These were the higher-ups of the Xian family. Most of them were great Emperor Realm experts. We must kill Lu Ming. Elders, please help. Xian Lin shouted. His eyes were bloodshot and filled with malevolent killing intent. During this period of time, the news that he was easily defeated by Lu Ming spread like wildfire. His reputation had plummeted and was no longer what it used to be. He hated Lu Ming to the core and could not wait to grind his bones and scatter his ashes. I also feel that we should kill Lu Ming. Someone else said. Ninth brother, tell us why you retreated. At the head of the table was an extremely old man. At this moment he was looking at the elder who had saved Xian Lin. The elder from before was one of the 9 elders of the Xian family. The 9 elders frowned and pondered for a while before saying, I can sense a terrifying aura from Lu Ming. I have a feeling that if I attack, I will die in his hands. What? The others were shocked, and Xian Lin's eyes widened in disbelief. How is that possible? Could Lu Ming be a threat to the emperor? Even if he has broken through to the martial emperor realm, it's impossible for him to break through to the great emperor realm so quickly. Impossible. Xian Lin couldn't accept this and shook his head. Could it be that Lu Ming has really reached such a shocking level? The other doyens all muttered, their gazes solemn. The higher one's cultivation was, the more accurate one's intuition would be. A great emperor's intuition would usually not be wrong. We can't measure Lu Ming with common sense. Once he breaks through to the martial supreme realm, he'll be like a dragon in the sea. There will be no restraints. It's not impossible for him to have the combat strength of a great emperor. I suggest that we do not attack Lu Ming for the time being. We should observe the situation first. The oldest elder said. I agree. I also agree. The other elders nodded. Although the remaining doyens and Xian Lin wanted to attack, most of the doyens didn't agree to do so they had no choice. Time flew by and 5 days passed. Lu Ming's residence. Brother Lu Ming, I've found out that the people from the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect are all in the Mu family. Also, almost all the great emperors of the Mu family have returned to the Mu family headquarters. They seem to be on guard. Bubbles conveyed some information to Lu Ming. In the past few days, Bubbles and Dandan had gone out to investigate the Mu family and finally had some results. Lu Ming arrived at Aeon City. Needless to say, the 2 groups of assassins from the Death God Nation had already failed. Lu Ming's abilities shocked the Mu family. It was natural for them to gather experts to deal with the MU family. It's time. The MU family, the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect will all be destroyed today, Lu Ming said coldly. He then strode toward the MU family. Lu Ming's actions naturally alerted those who were paying attention to him. Where is Lu Ming going? His body is full of killing intent. Is he going to kill his way to the Xian family? That's impossible, right? No, this direction is not the Xian family. In the dark, many people were discussing animatedly and secretly following behind Lu Ming. Not long after, mountains and countless palaces appeared in front of them. This was the MU clan. Boom. Lu Ming suddenly took a step forward. In the sky, endless energy gathered and formed a giant foot that covered the sky. It stomped down on the MU family headquarters. The mountains trembled under the giant foot. Lu Ming actually wanted to attack the MU family? All the people who had followed him were dumbfounded and shocked. The MU family was even stronger than the Xian family. What shocked them even more was Lu Ming's strength. That kick was like the kick of a god. It was unbelievably powerful. Great Emperor. This was the strength of a great emperor. Everyone sucked in a cold breath. Lu Ming actually had the strength of a great emperor. No wonder the patriarch of the Xian family had retreated. Figures flew out of the MU family's palace. They were terrified by the giant foot and flew everywhere. Impudent. A long howl came from the MU family. A huge palm flew out from the MU family and turned into a huge palm that reached the sky, clashing with Lu Ming's huge foot. Boom. The mountains trembled and the void collapsed. A terrifying force swept in all directions. The giant foot and hand disappeared together. A middle-aged man appeared in the sky above the MU family. His aura was extremely terrifying. The MU family's head. In the distance, someone muttered as he recognized this person. Oh my God, the MU family's master is said to be a 3-star great emperor. He only managed to block one of Lu Ming's attacks just now, and Lu Ming has already become so powerful. Quick, spread the news. Something big has happened. Lu Ming is going to attack the MU family. Hurry up. Many people were discussing in shock, and the news spread out one by one. Aeon City immediately exploded, and countless people rushed toward the MU family. When the Xian family received the news, they were also dumbfounded. They then sent experts to the MU family to pay attention to the development of the situation. After the MU family had appeared, more and more figures rushed out from the depths of the MU family. Each of these figures exuded a vast and endless aura. The pressure of the Great Path filled the world. These were all Great Emperor Realm experts. There were more than 20 of them. The MU family had more than 20 great emperors. Chapter 2392, Shocking Move. More than 20 great emperors from the MU family stood in a line. Their auras were as vast as the ocean, filling the entire Aeon City with a terrifying pressure. This lineup made the surrounding onlookers' faces change and their hearts tremble. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm as if he didn't see so many great emperors. His gaze swept across the MU family and he frowned. There's no need to hide anymore. Those families come out. The families he was talking about were the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect. However, the MU family master sneered and did not answer Lu Ming's question. Instead, he asked, Lu Ming, you attacked the MU family for no reason today. Do you really think that the MU family is easy to bully? If you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about leaving. Don't you know why I'm here? You, the MU family, the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect hired people from the Death God Nation to kill me. It's time to settle the score today. Lu Ming's voice was heard by everyone. What? The MU family had hired people from the Death God Nation to kill Lu Ming? Is that true? It's very possible. Back then, Lu Ming killed the MU family's most powerful genius, Mu Yang. This is a blood feud. How could the MU family let this matter rest? Indeed. I'm afraid it's true. Otherwise, Lu Ming wouldn't have come to the MU family. Lu Ming is really bold to come to the MU family on his own. What do you think will be the result today? It's hard to say. If Lu Ming wasn't confident, he wouldn't have dared to come here. However, the MU family has been around for countless years and their foundation is unfathomable. The outcome can't be predicted. Lu Ming's words caused an uproar. Many people were discussing it. Nonsense. If the MU family wants to kill you, we don't need to hire people from the Death God Nation. Any one of them can kill you. The head of the MU family sneered. Anyone can kill me? Then I'd like to see if your Mu family has the ability to do so. Lu Ming sneered. Then, he stepped out and headed toward the MU family. Bang, bang. With every step Lu Ming took, the void trembled and rays of light shone from his body. It was the radiance of the laws. All sorts of laws appeared. When more than 10 laws appeared, the scene was deathly silent. Everyone was tongue-tied and their eyes almost popped out. Heavens, what did the heavens just see? Chaos law, death law, life law, and reincarnation law. He has mastered 4 supreme laws. No, that's not right. There are also eternal laws, void laws, primordial chaos laws, and space-time laws. 8. He controls 8 supreme laws. There are still 9 kinds of king path laws and 17 kinds of laws. He has mastered 17 kinds of laws. Furthermore, he has cultivated all 17 types of nomological laws to the limit and reached the 3rd realm. How is this possible? How is this possible? He's abnormal. He's abnormal. When they saw Lu Ming displaying all the laws, everyone in all directions screamed hysterically, unable to control their emotions. This could no longer be described as shock. Their emotions were 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than shock. The truth of cultivation was that a person could only master one type of ultimate law at most. Not everyone could master an ultimate law. Those who could master one were the top geniuses in the world. But now, there was a person who had not only mastered an ultimate maxim, but it was not just 1, 2, or 3, but 8. This was not only breaking the truth, but also trampling the truth to pieces. It was easy to imagine the feelings of everyone. The people of the MU family were also dumbfounded. Their eyes were wide open and they were horrified. In the depths of the MU family, the masters of the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect, who were hiding in the dark, were almost scared to death when they saw this. Lu Ming was shrouded in 17 different lights. He stood in the air like a god who had descended to the mortal world. He was extraordinary. Come, let's see which one of you can kill me. Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he stared at the people of the MU family. So what if you can control 17 types of laws? You're still only in the true emperor realm. I'll kill you. From the MU family, a burly old man stepped out, like a lion. This old man's cultivation had reached the 3-star great emperor realm. In the end, the MU family did not dare to underestimate Lu Ming. Although Lu Ming seemed to be at the true emperor realm, he had mastered 17 types of laws. Most importantly, he had 8 ultimate laws. With so many laws combined, Lu Ming's combat strength could not be measured with common sense. It was possible that he could fight a 1-star great emperor or even a 2-star great emperor. However, they had sent out a 3-star great emperor. The difference between a true emperor and a 3-star great emperor was too great. They did not believe that Lu Ming could kill a 3-star great emperor. Even if a 3-star great emperor was no match for him, he could at least keep his life and test Lu Ming's true combat strength. Bang, bang. The elder, who was as strong as a lion, had a wild aura. He stepped in the air and his speed increased as he charged toward Lu Ming. Slash. All of a sudden, a saber appeared in the elder's hand and he slashed it at Lu Ming. The saber light was shocking and lit up the sky as if it was going to split Aeon City's sky in half. Kill! Lu Ming said indifferently. Before he could finish his sentence, a long spear appeared in his hand. It was a long spear condensed by the law and the power of the world. The muscles on Lu Ming's arms bulged and he threw the long spear out. The long spear flew out like a ray of light, faster than lightning. The long spear not only contained the power of Lu Ming's world force, the power of the law, but also the power of his physical body. The moment the spear collided with the saber light was destroyed. The speed of the spear did not decrease at all. and it continued to stab toward the opponent. The Mu family's 3-star Great Emperor did not expect that his all-out attack would be so vulnerable in Lu Ming's hands. He was stunned for a moment. His fate had been decided. Lu Ming's long spear pierced through his dantian and destroyed his small world. He flew out with his body and into the depths of the Mu clan, crashing into a hall. Boom! The palace exploded, and a large group of people flew out from it. These people were from the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect. The Mu clan's 3-star Great Emperor was impaled by Lu Ming's spear and nailed to the ground, screaming in pain. My cultivation base, my cultivation base. A shrill scream reverberated through the entire area. Gasps could be heard in the audience. A 3-star Great Emperor was pinned to the ground by Lu Ming with one move and his cultivation was crippled. This scene was too impactful. A 3-star Great Emperor couldn't even withstand one blow. How was this possible? Had Lu Ming's combat strength already reached such a terrifying level? Everyone felt like they were in a dream. In the crowd far away, there were also people from the Xian family watching. There were a few elders, including Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu. At this moment, they were completely petrified and kept gasping. How is that possible? How is that possible? Xian Lin seemed to be in a daze as he kept muttering. He had crippled a 3-star Great Emperor with one move. Such strength was. Chapter 2393, Massacre. The people from the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect are here. Lu Ming looked at the people from the Heng family and the He family, the corners of his lips curling into a cold smile. The people of the Mu family, Heng family, He family, and Daluo Heaven sect all looked extremely shocked. Lu Ming, you destroyed the cultivation of the Mu family's emperor for no reason. Today you must pay the price. Mu clan emperor roared. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, more than 20 great emperors of the Mu family attacked at the same time. There were 1-star great emperors and 5-star great emperors. When they attacked together, the void collapsed instantly, and terrifying attacks were launched toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's combat strength was far beyond their imagination. They were terrified. They wanted to kill Lu Ming in an instant and make him disappear without a trace. Buzz. Lu Ming's muscles vibrated suddenly, vibrating billions of times in an instant. The void shattered and Lu Ming's figure burst out. The moment Lu Ming charged out, he used the 6-feathered divine wings to increase his speed. In an instant, he dodged the joint attack of his opponents and rushed toward the 20-odd great emperors of the Mu family. Gather, gather. The master of the Mu family roared. More than 20 great emperors of the Mu family gathered together in a circle. This way, they could prevent Lu Ming from breaking them one by one. Is there any use in joining hands? Lu Ming's cold voice was heard and a long spear appeared in his hand again. However, this long spear was not condensed by Lu Ming's law. It was a real long spear. Great Desolation Spear. Heaven Dao soldiers. Although Lu Ming could not unleash the power of the Heaven's Path in the Heaven Dao soldier, the Great Desolation Spear's material was sturdy and immortal. It allowed Lu Ming to unleash all his strength and also increased his combat strength. Boom. Lu Ming held the Great Desolation Spear and unleashed his power to the extreme, sweeping the spear out. The sky exploded continuously as the Great Desolation Spear swept up endless void storms and blasted towards the 20-odd great emperors of the Mu clan. It was so powerful that it looked like it was going to crush all the great emperors of the Mu clan. Let's join hands. The master of the Mu family roared. All the emperors of the Mu family joined forces and launched attacks at Lu Ming. Among the more than 20 great emperors of the Mu family, there were quite a few 5-star great emperors with astonishing strength. With so many people working together, they could definitely fight against a 6-star great emperor. Boom. Their attacks collided with Lu Ming's long spear, resulting in a terrifying boom and a shockwave that swept in all directions. Retreat, retreat. The spectators all retreated in a frenzy to create enough distance. Most of the people who were watching the battle did not have the cultivation of a great emperor. They did not dare to get too close. Otherwise, if they were swept up by Lu Ming and the others, they would only be dead. After the boom, Lu Ming's body trembled and he retreated. However, the more than 20 powerhouses of the Mu family were also forced to retreat. Those with weaker cultivations even trembled and spat out blood. They were severely injured. Lu Ming's current combat strength, physical body, world energy, law energy, and the Great Desolation Spear were enough to compete with a 6-star Great Emperor. How could those 1-star and 2-star Great Emperors withstand a head-on collision? Again! Lu Ming took a few steps back and stomped on the void to stabilize his body. He held the Great Desolation Spear and once again charged at the Mu clan emperor. Boom! This time, Lu Ming held the Great Desolation Spear with both hands and smashed it down with the force of Mount Tai. Boom! The Great Desolation Spear rapidly grew in size and became as heavy as a mountain, as if it could crush everything. More than 20 great emperors from the Mu family roared and used their strongest power to attack the Great Desolation Spear. The attacks from both sides collided once again. Buzz! The Great Desolation Spear trembled continuously before it was sent flying. However, the people of the Mu family were in an even worse state. A few 1-star great emperors were shaken, and their bodies were cracked by the terrifying backlash. They were covered in blood, and their auras were weak. They no longer had the strength to fight. You guys recuperate first. The head of the Mu family roared. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's third move arrived. The Mu family's 2-star great emperor was also shaken by this collision, and he was almost killed. Again! Lu Ming was like a martial emperor god of war. His attacks were like a storm. The number of Mu family's great emperors decreased and they were no match for Lu Ming. In the end, they were at a disadvantage every time they clashed. In the end, even 3- and 4-star great sovereigns started to get injured, and 5-star great sovereigns' faces were pale and they were gasping for breath. The hearts of the people watching the battle were in a state of shock. Lu Ming's combat strength was too strong. He completely suppressed the Mu family. Was the Mu clan going to be destroyed today? In the depths of the Mu family, the emperors from the Heng family, the He family, and the Tian Luo family were even paler. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. It was hard to believe that Lu Ming's combat strength had reached such a level. With his current combat strength, he could kill them in a second with one move. How did this happen? They roared in their hearts, unable to accept this fact. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming kept attacking, and his attacks became more and more violent. In the end, even the Mu clan's 5-star great emperor was injured. He was no match for Lu Ming. Kill! Suddenly, Lu Ming's attack changed. He bypassed the 5-star's great emperor and shook the Great Desolation Spear. In an instant he shot out dozens of spear lights. His target was the low-ranked great emperors. Not good, he blocked it. The advanced emperors of the Mu family were shocked. They used all their strength to block Lu Ming's attack. But no matter how hard they tried, they only managed to block half of the spear light. The rest of the spear light continued toward the low-tier emperors. The low-level great emperors, especially the 1- and 2-star great emperors, tried their best to resist, but it was to no avail. The 1-star and 2-star great emperors' foreheads were pierced through by the spear light, and their souls were destroyed. He was dead. The 1-star and 2-star great emperors of the Mu family were all killed in an instant, and 8 of them were dead. The 8 great emperors were annihilated in an instant. This shocked everyone, but at the same time, it also made the Mu clan furious and filled them with killing intent. Lu Ming, I want you to die without a burial ground. The Mu family's head roared. His eyes were blood red, and his face was ferocious. 8 great sovereigns, what a great loss this was. His heart was bleeding. The Mu family had been around for countless years, and they had only managed to accumulate so many great emperors over time. But now 8 of them had died. This was a loss that was hard to bear. Now you know how painful it is. If you had known this would happen, you wouldn't have thought of this day when the Mu family wanted to kill me. At this moment, it's impossible that you're the only ones killing others in this world, and others won't come to kill you. Lu Ming said coldly. He did not have the slightest bit of pity or sympathy. He and the Mu family were mortal enemies. Either he died or he died. One side had to be destroyed. Chapter 2394, Dandan displays her might. The people from the MU family were speechless. They could only look at Lu Ming with killing intent. Kill! Lu Ming said coldly. He held the long spear and charged forward again. Today, he would not spare a single higher-up of the MU clan. Evil creature, die! At this moment, a loud roar came from the depths of the MU family. The voice was filled with vicissitudes of life, and then a terrifying saber light slashed out from the depths of the MU family. It was extremely terrifying. Peak Emperor! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly as soon as the saber light was released. The MU family was indeed unfathomable. There were still experts that hadn't made a move, but there was a Peak Emperor hiding. Haha, I've been waiting for this moment. A loud laugh was heard. Then, a huge turtle shell appeared out of thin air and blocked the saber light. It was Dandan who made her move. Previously, he and Bubbles had been watching from the side and had no intention of making a move, in case the MU family had an even stronger existence. Clang! The saber light struck the turtle shell, causing it to shake and dissipate. However, the saber light was also blocked. Boom! Boom! Then, a terrifying aura burst out from the depths of the MU family. A total of 5 auras burst out, and a terrifying pressure filled the air. Then, 5 old men stepped out and appeared in front of the crowd. These 5 old men were very old. Their hair was white and their skin was dry and wrinkled, like 5 skeletons. Forefather! The MU clan's patriarch was overjoyed. It's the patriarchs. The patriarchs really didn't die. They've come out of seclusion. This time, let's see how they die. The other members of the MU family were also overjoyed. The MU family indeed has a strong foundation. These must be the old monsters of the MU family who have been in seclusion. Someone from the distant spectators said in a serious tone. The MU family was definitely one of the most powerful forces in Aeon City. They had a deep foundation. It was said that in the distant past, the MU clan even had a heavenly emperor, but the MU clan's heavenly emperor died in battle. However, this also showed how powerful the MU family was. It had always been said that some old monsters in the depths of the MU family were cultivating in seclusion, ignoring the outside world. They only wanted to improve their cultivation, fight the heavenly tribulation, and even break through to the heavenly emperor realm. He wouldn't come out unless it was a matter of life and death for the MU family. Today, after the MU family's great emperors were killed one after another, these old guys came out. The MU family's foundation is indeed deep. We're saved today. Lu Ming must die. Emperor Heng, Emperor Tan Luo, and the others were also overjoyed. 3 6-star great emperors and 2 7-star great emperors. Dandan, I'll leave them to you. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Dandan. Don't worry, I'll clean it up soon. Dandan was very confident. When he was on the Void God Island, he was only a 6-star great emperor, but he could suppress other peak great emperors and even kill them. Furthermore, Dandan had already broken through to the peak of 7-star great emperor realm, and it would be a piece of cake for him to kill someone at the same level as him. The 5 elders of the MU family looked at Lu Ming with lightning-like eyes and said in cold and dry voices, "You killed my Mu family's people, kill without mercy, kill your sister. Try my invincible turtle fist." Dandan charged out with extreme speed and punched at a peak emperor from the MU family. Countless runes flickered on its fist, as if it had condensed into a world. The ancestor of the MU clan was shocked and hurriedly set up layers of defense. However, these defenses were completely useless as they were directly punched through by Dandan. Then, Dandan's fist ruthlessly smashed into the old face of the MU clan's ancestor. Bang! Gotcha! The sound of bones breaking reverberated throughout the entire place. The ancestor of the MU clan let out a blood-curdling scream as his body flew far away, smashing a hull of the MU clan into pieces. Everyone was dumbfounded. One of the MU family ancestors had a terrifying aura. He was a peak great emperor, and his appearance shocked everyone. However, he was sent flying by a punch before he could even show off for a few seconds. Moreover, the one who had sent him flying was a teenager in a Taoist robe. A young Taoist priest in his teens. Dandan, this fellow with his appearance, would really make people ignore him because he really wasn't that good? But at this moment, the impact on everyone was the greatest. Lu Ming really has a helper. His combat strength is shocking. He sent a peak emperor flying with one punch. No wonder he dared to come to the MU family. How terrifying. Could it be that the MU clan is really finished today? Many people were discussing. Among them, the Xian family was the most shocked. Xian Lin and Dongfang Shui both swallowed their saliva as cold sweat dripped down their faces. Their clothes were drenched in cold sweat. At that moment, they were secretly glad that they did not lay a hand on Lu Ming. Otherwise, the Xian family would be finished. The Xian family's strength couldn't compare to the MU family's, so they were really going to die. Pervert, pervert. I'll never provoke this pervert again. Xian Lin roared in his heart. He was truly afraid. At this moment, the remaining 4 elders of the MU family had goosebumps all over their bodies. They instinctively backed away like crazy to increase the distance between them and Dandan. In front of this lord, you still dare to take advantage of your seniority. You simply don't know what's good for you. Dandan waved the sleeve of her Taoist robe like a peerless expert, and then charged toward the MU clan ancestors. A huge world appeared, vast and boundless. It exuded a grand pressure and pressed down on the other party. Even if other people condensed a small world, they couldn't use it to fight their enemies directly because the condensed small world wasn't that stable and would be easily destroyed by others. But Dandan could. He was the divine turtle of the world. The word world wasn't given to him for nothing. His control of the world had reached the peak. The small world was extremely stable and had great power and an indestructible defense. A small world blotted out the sky and suppressed them. The ancestors of the MU family couldn't escape and could only fight head-on. Boom, boom, boom. The old man of the MU family made his move. 4 attacks were aimed at Dandan's small world. Behind him, the old man who was almost killed by Dandan's punch also made his move. However, the 5 people's attacks only made Dandan's small world shake a little. It couldn't be broken or blocked at all. Boom. The 3 6-star great emperors screamed and spat out mouthfuls of blood as their bodies cracked and were covered in blood. The 2 peak emperors were slightly better off, but they were also heavily injured. Buzz. Dandan turned into a phantom and directly rushed over, carrying out a bloody slaughter. A series of screams sounded as the 3 6-star great emperors were killed by Dandan in an instant. No, the head of the MU family and the others cried out in horror, unable to accept this outcome. Kill! At this moment, Lu Ming let out a long howl and launched a violent offensive. Although the MU family's experts fought back with all their might, the outcome was already decided. Shrieks were heard continuously as the great emperors of the MU clan died at Lu Ming's hands one after another. As for the 2 peak emperors of the MU family, they were no match for Dandan at all. They barely managed to block a dozen moves before being killed mercilessly. Chapter 2395, Mu Clan's Destruction. Go! Quickly go! In the distance, the Hung family's Celestial the Arch, the Emperor of Tianluo, and the others were almost scared to death. Then, they turned around and ran away from the MU family with their subordinates. Lu Ming's ability had far exceeded their imagination. They knew that if they did not run, they would be the ones to die. Go! Everyone from the MU clan, leave quickly! At that moment, the master of the MU family also roared, his voice traveling far and wide. He knew that the MU clan was finished today. The MU family would be wiped out from the Divine Destiny land, but he didn't want the MU family to be annihilated. He wanted the rest of the MU family to escape. Master! Someone in the MU family cried out in sorrow. Go, quickly go! The head of the MU family roared, but his voice stopped abruptly. That was because Lu Ming's long spear had already pierced through his dantian and crippled his cultivation. He let out a shrill cry, his eyes filled with despair. Let's go! The powerful figures of the MU family who were below the emperor level turned into streaks of light and flew in all directions like countless meteors. You want to leave? Have you asked this lord? Dandan sneered and waved her hands. Runes entered the void one after another. Then, countless runes suddenly appeared around the Mu family, forming a layer of light that enveloped the entire Mu family. The formation. A few days ago, Dandan had already quietly set up a formation around the Mu family. Today, no one would be able to escape. No, seeing the formation, Emperor Heng, Emperor Tianluo, and the others let out a desperate roar and attacked the light screen one after another. However, this was a formation that had taken Dandan several days to set up. With their cultivation, how could they break it? The attacks landed on the light curtain one after another, but not a single ripple was produced. No, no, no. The people of the Mu family also roared and attacked madly. They were filled with despair. Why is this so? An elder of the Mu clan looked up at the sky and sighed. They had only offended a young man of the younger generation. They could just kill him. The Mu clan had been around for a long time, and they had offended and killed countless so-called geniuses. Even though those heaven's favorites were extremely talented, they were all crushed into dust by their strength. Never in their wildest dreams would they have thought that offending a heaven's favorite would bring about the end of their Mu clan. In the depths of the sky, at an unknown height, two figures stood there, and everything below fell into their eyes. These two were none other than Heng Xinghe and his master, the 9 demon celestial emperors. Master, it seems that Lu Ming has brought the world turtle with him. The celestial the arch should not be with him anymore. Should we make a move now? Xing asked. Are you worried about the Heng family? The 9 demon celestial emperors asked. No, I didn't. I don't think so. Xinghe shook his head. I just think it's about time. Let's see. Celestial Master 9 Demons said, after killing Lu Ming, these people from the Heng family will definitely die. They will be killed by the celestial the arch behind Lu Ming. No matter what, they won't survive. So, don't worry about it. Just observe for a while longer. Haste makes waste. Do you understand? This disciple knows. Xing Chen bowed and nodded. The two of them continued watching. The battle below was coming to an end. Dandan had intervened and killed a few 5-star great emperors of the Mu family with a few slaps. The remaining great emperors were all killed by Lu Ming. Not a single emperor of the Mu family was left alive. This scene was truly shocking. The surrounding spectators were all unable to calm down. The Mu family, which had dominated Aeon City for countless years and was considered a top-notch force even in the Divine Land, had all its great emperors killed by a young man. Life was really unpredictable. The elders of the Xian family, Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu, were already drenched in cold sweat. Their faces were pale and they were filled with fear. If they had not held back and attacked Lu Ming rashly, the Xian family would have been the one annihilated. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming held his spear and walked toward the emperors of the Heng family, He family, and Tianluo. Lu Ming, don't kill us. The galaxy has already acknowledged a celestial the arch as its master. If you destroy the Heng family, the galaxy will not let you off. The great emperor of the Heng family shouted. You're still threatening me even at this time. How foolish. I'll kill that guy from the Star River with my own hands one day. Lu Ming said coldly, his footsteps getting faster. The emperor of the Heng family and the others were in despair as they retreated. However, they were blocked by the formation. If you don't offend me, I won't offend you. I didn't offend you from the beginning. You brought all of this upon yourself. Today, let everything end. Kill. Lu Ming let out a long howl and thrust his spear. The spear pierced the emperor's forehead and killed him in the air. No, the emperors from the Heng family and the He family flew to the sides in fear. However, Lu Ming stabbed out 2 more times and they were killed just like the emperor of Tianluo. Kill, kill, kill. Then, Lu Ming attacked crazily without any mercy, turning into a killing machine. Endless spear light burst out from his hand and rushed toward the remaining experts of the Mu family, the Daluo Heaven sect, and the He family. Only the Heng family was shown mercy by Lu Ming. That was for the sake of the Heng Yu Heavenly Emperor. After all, the Heng family was the descendants of the Heng Yu Heavenly Emperor. The Heng Yu Heavenly Emperor had been of great help to Lu Ming, and he did not want to exterminate the Heng family. Lu Ming had only killed a few senior members of the Heng family. He did not kill the rest. However, Lu Ming did not show any mercy to the Mu family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect. Lu Ming had killed all the martial supremes and above. For a time, the entire area was filled with blood and qi, making it look like hell on earth. Hung Clan, for the sake of the Hengyu Heavenly Emperor, I want to destroy you. Get lost. Lu Ming looked at the remaining members of the Heng family. Go, quickly go. The remaining members of the Heng family rushed in one direction. Dandan waved her hand, and the formation automatically separated, not stopping them. I, Lu Ming, am not willing to kill anyone below the rank of a martial supreme. If you want to seek revenge in the future, feel free to come and find me. Get lost. Finally, Lu Ming looked at the people below the martial supreme realm. As if they had been granted amnesty, those people also fled in all directions. Not long after, not a single person was left in the large Mu family. The Mu family, which dominated Aeon City, was destroyed. It was destroyed by a young man. Dandan, Bubbles, Xiaoyu, let's go. Lu Ming said, turned around and left. He didn't want to kill, but things won't go as you wish in this world. If you want to reach the peak, you're bound to have some obstacles. This kid is still too soft-hearted. Dandan pursed her lips and followed Lu Ming. But at this moment, Dandan's expression changed drastically as she looked into the depths of the sky. At this moment, Lu Ming's hair stood on end. He felt a terrifying sense of danger. Chapter 2396, Celestial Emperor Takes Action. Lu Ming felt a terrifying sense of danger approaching. This sense of danger came from deep in the sky. At this moment, a beam of sword light shone from the depths of the sky. The sword light was dozens of times brighter than the sun. It illuminated the world, and the pressure of the heavenly Tao filled the world. Everyone felt a great fear. Heavenly Emperor, there's indeed a heavenly emperor behind this. Who is it? Lu Ming's mind was spinning rapidly. Just now, after he had destroyed the Mu family, he had thought that it was the Mu family, the Heng family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect behind the scenes. He had thought that it was over. However, as soon as the sword gleam was released, Lu Ming knew that the matter was not over yet. There was also a heavenly emperor realm powerhouse who had been hiding behind and only made a move at the last moment. Caution! The Celestial the Arch was extremely cautious. Even when he made his last move, he did it from a distance. Don't even think about it. At this moment, Dandan yelled out. Countless symbols began to spread out from her body, and the formation around the Mu family reappeared, forming a light that enveloped the world. Then, Dandan waved her hand and pieces of turtle shells appeared out of thin air, blocking the sword radiance that was aimed at Lu Ming. The Great Desolation Spear also appeared in Lu Ming's hands. At this moment, the sword light had already arrived. The defensive power of the formation set up by Dandan was extremely amazing, but when the sword light stabbed the light curtain trembled violently and then was pierced through. The sword beam passed through the light curtain, its speed did not stop, and it bombarded the heavy turtle shell that Dandan had set up. Bang! 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 The tortoise shell that Dandan had set up exploded one after another, and the terrifying force swept in all directions. In the end, Dandan let out a muffled groan and her body flew far away, spitting out a mouthful of blood. However, after Dandan's continuous obstruction, the power of the sword gleam had been weakened a lot. But it still did not stop and continued to attack Lu Ming. Block it, die! Lu Ming roared with a crazed look on his face. 17 types of laws burst forth and covered the Great Desolation Spear. Then, Lu Ming stabbed it with all his might. This was Lu Ming's strongest attack. All his strength was unleashed at this moment. Buzz! The Great Desolation Spear and the sword radiance collided. Lu Ming immediately felt a terrifying force flowing along the Great Desolation Spear and charging towards him. Buzz! The Great Desolation Spear trembled non-stop and Lu Ming's body retreated rapidly. His arms and body were covered with sword marks as if he had been slashed hundreds of times in an instant. But in the end, he blocked it. Lu Ming circulated the indestructible ancient scroll with all his might. The injuries on his body were healing rapidly. In the depths of the sky, It seems like there really aren't any other celestial emperors here. Lu Ming, everything you have will be mine today. Disciple, let's go. The 9 demon celestial emperor's face revealed a look of wild joy. Then he swept up the eternal star river and brought it down. He had only been testing the waters with that sword strike. If Tai Celestial the Arch had made a move just now, he would have immediately, however, looking at Lu Ming and Dandan's desperate resistance, he concluded that the Celestial the Arch was not with Lu Ming. Not far in front of Lu Ming, there was a flash of light and 2 figures appeared out of thin air. Star River, 9 demon celestial emperors, it's you. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes at the sight of the galaxy and the 9 demon celestial emperors. His eyes gleamed coldly. It seemed that the person behind the scenes was the 9 demon celestial emperors. He didn't let Earth 1 and Thunder 1 out just now because he wanted to lure the other party out. Lu Ming, you've killed innocents. Today, my master will carry out justice on behalf of the heavens. Xing Chen shouted. Hee, you're just enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens. Don't make it sound so high and mighty. Hung Xinghe, I've underestimated you in the past. You're really inhumane. You even want to use the Hung family and watch them be destroyed without doing anything. Lu Ming sneered. Lu Ming, you're a smart man. Hand over everything you have. Remember, everything. Hand it over and I'll give you a quick and painless death. The 9 demon celestial emperor spoke, and his aura emanated. The heavenly emperor realm could borrow the power of the heavenly path. That aura was too terrifying. It was as if the heavenly path was pressing down on one's body. Everyone in Aeon City had a huge change in expression as they felt the terrifying pressure. The heavenly emperor. Oh my God. It's the heavenly emperor. There's actually a celestial the Arch behind this. Lu Ming is finished. He has offended a celestial the Arch. Many people were screaming in fear, but they didn't dare to say anything for fear of offending the celestial the Arch. In the eyes of everyone in Aeon City, the heavenly emperor realm was a supreme existence. With just a thought, millions of corpses could be buried and blood would flow like a river. Now, there was a celestial the Arch who wanted to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming was dead for sure. 9 demon celestial emperors, it seems like you're after my treasures. It's easy for you to kill me, but if this matter gets out, you won't have a place to stay. Lu Ming said with a calm expression. The world is so big. Who can find me if I just hide? The 9 demon celestial emperors laughed and looked at the great desolation spear in Lu Ming's hands. It was filled with burning flames and greed. If you want my treasure, come and take it yourself. It's impossible for me to hand it over. Lu Ming said, intentionally retreating slowly, putting up a stubborn resistance, struggling to survive. The 9 demon celestial emperors said coldly. His body swayed and he pounced toward Lu Ming. Fast, it was too fast. The celestial thearch's speed was unbelievably fast. Before anyone could react, he had already arrived in front of Lu Ming. His claw was like a hook as he clawed at Lu Ming's glabella. At such a fast speed, Lu Ming could not avoid it even if he wanted to. However, Lu Ming had no intention of avoiding it. Lu Ming just stood there calmly, letting the other party's claws grab at him. Lu Ming is dead. Many people had the same thought. However, at this moment, an extra arm suddenly appeared on Lu Ming's body. It was a khaki-colored arm that blasted out directly from Lu Ming's body and blasted toward the 9 demon celestial emperor's claw. It really looked like Lu Ming had an extra arm out of thin air. Boom. With a deafening boom, the 9 demon celestial emperor's body trembled, and he couldn't help but retreat. He was sent flying 100 miles. A figure appeared on Lu Ming's body. It was a khaki-colored figure with a burly figure and a mountain-like aura. It was Earth 1. Primal Chaos Hall, 2. The 9 demon celestial emperor's expression was extremely unsightly. 9 devil, it seems like you're tired of living. How dare you have ideas about my Primal Chaos Hall's young master? Earth 1 spoke coldly, his eyes somewhat malevolent. The surrounding people were all dumbstruck. This sudden change was beyond everyone's expectations. He had thought that Lu Ming was dead for sure. He did not expect that a figure would suddenly appear on Lu Ming's body. Furthermore, this figure was clearly a heavenly emperor. Lu Ming also had a heavenly emperor-level powerhouse behind him. Moreover, it seemed that the Celestial the Arch addressed Lu Ming as young master and took orders from him. The 9 demon Celestial Emperor's expressions were extremely unsightly. However, Xing's expression was even uglier. Damn it, how is this possible? The galaxy roared in its heart. They had already tested him several times and were almost certain that the Celestial the Arch was not with Lu Ming. They did not expect that he still had the Celestial the Arch with him. Furthermore, they had hidden themselves so deeply. When they were in life-threatening danger, they didn't even let the Celestial the Arch come out. Chapter 2397. The Fall of the Celestial Emperor. Let's go, retreat. The 9 demon Celestial Emperors roared, and a force swept up the eternal Star River, forcing it to retreat. As soon as Earth One appeared, he knew that he would not be able to do anything to Lu Ming today. He could only retreat. His life was the most important. It's too late to leave now. A cold voice was heard. Then, a bolt of lightning flashed, and a figure appeared behind the 9 demon Celestial Emperor. This figure was covered in lightning. It was Lei. The 9 demon Celestial Emperor's figures stopped in an instant, and their faces were extremely ugly. Not only did Earth One follow Lu Ming, but also Thunder One. There were 2 Celestial Emperors in total. With 2 heavenly emperors surrounding him, he was in danger. The galaxy was in despair. Lu Ming, what happened today was a misunderstanding. How about I apologize to you in public another day? The 9 demon Celestial Emperors revealed a flattering smile. Misunderstanding? Kill him. Lu Ming spoke calmly and gave the order. He would not give the 9 demon Celestial Emperors any chance. The 9 demon Celestial Emperors must die. Kill! Lei let out a long roar, and his body was filled with endless thunder and lightning. He directly struck out a palm toward the 9 demon Celestial Emperors. Lu Ming, let's see who's the one who's dead. The 9 demon Celestial Emperor's eyes were ferocious. He brought the Star River and charged at Lu Ming. Earth One stepped out and punched at the 9 demon Celestial Emperor. But at this moment, the 9 demon Celestial Emperor waved his hand and actually threw the eternal Star River towards Earth One. Master! The galaxy let out a desperate cry. Rest in peace. Your master will take revenge for you. The 9 demon Celestial Emperor's cold voice rang in Xing Chen's ears. Ah! Xing Chen let out an unwilling scream. His body was turned into dust by Earth One's terrifying fist force. He had no power to resist. The 9 demon Celestial Emperors took the opportunity to dash toward Lu Ming in a flash. He wanted to capture Lu Ming and use him as a hostage to escape. He wanted to obtain all the resources from Lu Ming, such as the indestructible ancient scroll. You're looking for death. Earth One roared, and a meteor hammer appeared in his hand. With a wave, the meteor hammer was like a shooting star, blasting towards the 9 demon Celestial Emperor at an unbelievable speed. It also emitted a terrifying heavenly Tao pressure. The 9 demon Celestial Emperor's pupils contracted sharply, and he let out a desperate roar. Heaven Tao soldiers. This meteor hammer was naturally the heavenly Tao soldier that Lu Ming had given to Earth One. The speed of the meteor hammer was unbelievably fast. It caught up with the 9 demon Celestial Emperor in an instant. He did not have time to attack Lu Ming and could only turn around to defend himself. Bush. A long sword appeared in the hands of the 9 demon Celestial Emperors. In an instant he stabbed out hundreds of times. Hundreds of sword lights converged into one sword and blasted toward the meteor hammer. However, it was useless. He couldn't block it at all. Earth One's strength was stronger than the 9 demon Celestial Emperors to begin with. With the addition of the Heaven Tao soldier, his strength skyrocketed, and his combat power was far above the 9 demon Celestial Emperors. Boom! With a violent boom, the meteor hammer crushed the 9 demon Celestial Emperor's sword light with unstoppable momentum and blasted toward them. At the critical moment, the 9 demon Celestial Emperors could only block with his sword. However, when the meteoric hammer collided with the combat sword, the top-notch Emperor-level weapon exploded. The terrifying power struck the 9 demon Celestial Emperors heavily. Arg. The 9-demon celestial emperor screamed as his body was sent flying. His body was split into two. Although he wasn't dead yet, he was severely injured. His aura was weak and his face was pale. After being struck by the Heavendao soldiers, the 9-demon celestial emperor's strength was reduced to less than 10%. Lu Ming, I surrender. Don't kill me. I'll acknowledge you as my master and follow your orders. The 9-demon celestial emperors roared in horror. He was truly afraid now. Against 2E, who was controlling the Heavendao soldier, he had no chance and would definitely be killed. This was the first time in countless years that he had felt such fear. I'm not interested, kill. Lu Ming said coldly. Die. Earth 1 roared ferociously, and the meteoric hammer blasted toward the 9-demon celestial emperors again. Lu Ming, you'll die a terrible death. Run. Celestial Emperor Jiao Mo roared hysterically. He used all his means to escape, but it was useless. Under the attacks of the Heavendao soldiers, all his means were useless. Bang! The 9-demon celestial emperors' bodies exploded in the air, and their souls were also annihilated by the Heavendao soldiers' attacks. The 9-demon celestial emperors, a heavenly emperor-level figure, had died just like that. At that moment, the crowd was already numb. They could not make a sound and were completely stunned as they looked at Lu Ming in a daze. The Celestial the Arch was dead. A Celestial the Arch was killed by Lu Ming's subordinates. This scene, this image, was too impactful, too shocking. The Celestial the Arch was a legendary figure in the primordial realm. He was supreme and would never face any heavenly tribulations. He had an endless lifespan, as long as heaven and earth, and his combat power was boundless. It was extremely difficult to even meet such a figure. However, one of them had fallen in front of them. Moreover, it was all because of a young man. Young master, that guy's storage ring. Earth 1 flew back and handed Lu Ming a storage ring, which was left behind by the 9-demon celestial emperor. Lu Ming nodded and kept the storage ring. Let's go. Lu Ming opened his mouth and was about to leave. Young hero Lu Ming, please wait. At this moment, a voice was heard. Lu Ming was slightly stunned. He stopped in his tracks and turned around. 5 to 6 figures walked over. Lu Ming recognized 2 of them. They were the Eastern Snow region and Xian Lin. What's wrong? Does your Xian family still want to find trouble with me? Lu Ming said coldly. Xian Lin, Dongfang Shuiyu, and a few of the elders of the Xian family shivered. A wrinkled elder had a smile on his face as he cupped his fists. Brother Lu Ming, you must be joking. How would we dare to fight with you? We are here to apologize to you. Xian Lin, Dongfang Shuiyu, why don't you come forward and apologize to little brother Lu Ming? In the end, the old man's cold eyes turned to Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu. They were almost scared to death when they saw the Mu family being annihilated and even a Celestial the Arch being killed. They were afraid that Lu Ming would attack the Xian family because of Xian Lin and the Xian family would be annihilated. Therefore, when he saw that Lu Ming was about to leave, he quickly came out and apologized to Lu Ming. Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu stepped forward with pale faces. Cupping their fists, they bowed and said, "We were blind before and offended you. Please forgive us and not lower yourself to our level." Lu Ming was non-committal. He waved his hand casually and left without saying a word. Qiu Yu, Bubbles, Dandan, 2E, and Lei Yi followed Lu Ming and disappeared without a trace. Xian Lin, Dongfang Shuiyu, and the rest of the Xian family were panting uneasily. They did not understand what Lu Ming meant. After a while, they went back in a daze. The entire Xian family was filled with uneasiness, afraid that Lu Ming would come to them. Chapter 2398, Expanding the Faction. However, Lu Ming did not take the Xian family's matter to heart at all. Now, in the primordial realm, he had basically gotten rid of all his enemies, so he could more or less be at ease. Next, Lu Ming still had 2 things to do. The first was to deal with the Death God Nation. The second matter was about the Hunyuan Sect's inheritor. Back then, he had passed the Hunyuan Sect's assessment and obtained the position of the Hunyuan Sect's gold inheritor. At that time, he had received a list. The name list recorded the inheritors of Hunyuan sect since ancient times, such as the silver and bronze inheritors. According to the rules, these inheritors had to listen to Lu Ming. However, in the past, Lu Ming did not dare to rely on his identity as a golden inheritor to look for these people and order them around. This was because most of these people were at the martial emperor realm. There were even true emperors and even great emperors among them. Given Lu Ming's previous abilities, he would most likely be slapped to death by these people if he went to look for them. But now it was possible. Lu Ming planned to subdue all these people first, then he would eliminate the Death God nation. However, in order to subdue those people, he had to wait for a while. After the matter of Aeon City was spread, it would be much easier to do so. Lu Ming and the rest stayed in Aeon City. The news about the Battle of Aeon City spread like a hurricane. Not only did it spread in the Divine Land, but it also spread to other regions. In an instant, a magnitude 12 earthquake occurred in the primordial realm. Lu Ming had returned in a domineering manner and destroyed the Mu family, the overlord force of Aeon City, in one fell swoop. He killed all the experts of the Mu family and displayed his terrifying combat strength. However, the most shocking thing was that in the end, a heavenly emperor tried to kill Lu Ming, but he was easily killed by Lu Ming's subordinates. Lu Ming actually had a terrifying heavenly emperor as his subordinates. Everyone who heard this news was shocked. They knew that Lu Ming had defied the heavens and rose to power. Back then, Lu Ming was declared by the Celestial the Arch that he would never become the Arch in this life. Many people called him trash and a cripple. But how many years had passed? Lu Ming rose to power and his combat strength was terrifyingly powerful. He killed more than 10 great emperors of the Mu family alone. That was a dozen great emperors. What kind of battle record was this? It was simply frightening. The more terrifying thing was that Lu Ming had the Celestial the Arch as his subordinate. After hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded and speechless. Everyone knew that an unrivaled figure had risen with unstoppable momentum. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In the past month, the entire Yuan continent was talking about Lu Ming. It's time. The first one will be the Lu family. There in Aeon City. In an inn in Aeon City, Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. He then led Dandan and the rest in a direction. The Lu family was a powerful force in Aeon City, and their strength was not weaker than the Xian family. On the Hunyuan sect's list, it was recorded that the Lu family's patriarch was the Hunyuan sect's inheritor. Furthermore, he was a silver inheritor. The Lu clan was considered one of the strongest forces above the Hunyuan sect's inheritors. The moment Lu Ming moved, he was immediately noticed by those who had been paying attention to him at all times. Immediately, countless people followed Lu Ming from a distance. Where is Lu Ming going? This direction seems to be the direction to the Lu family. Could it be that Lu Ming is going to the Lu family? Many people were guessing. Now, it could be said that Lu Ming's every move touched people's hearts. The Lu family had also received the news long ago. The entire Lu family's higher-ups were alarmed. Some of the Lu family's elders who had been in seclusion came out one after another. The Lu family was in a tense atmosphere. Lu Ming wanted to come to the Lu family? What was he doing? Could it be that someone from the Lu family had offended Lu Ming? The higher-ups of the Lu family were extremely anxious. Lu Ming's speed was neither fast nor slow. Not long after, he arrived at the Lu residence. As soon as Lu Ming arrived, a large group of figures flew out from the Lu family. The ones leading them were all white-haired old men. They were all experts from the Lu family and there were more than 10 great emperors. Welcome, brother Lu Ming. I'm sorry for not coming out to welcome you. The head of the Lu family stepped forward and cupped his fists repeatedly. He was full of smiles and was very polite. Putting everything else aside, Lu Ming's ability alone was enough for him to be polite to him. Now, no one would treat Lu Ming as a young junior. Instead, they would treat him as a great emperor with unfathomable abilities. You're welcome. Lu Ming cupped his fists casually. I wonder what is the matter that little brother Lu Ming has come to the Lu family? The head of the Lu family asked tentatively. I want to see Lu Gao. Lu Ming went straight to the point. Lu Gao was the patriarch of the Lu family. You want to see the forefather? Master Liu's expression changed. What's wrong? Can't I? Lu Ming said. Of course, but the patriarch is in seclusion. We can go and inform him. Brother Lu Ming, why don't you come in and have a seat first? The head of the Lu family said. All right. Lu Ming nodded and followed the people from the Lu family into the Lu residence. The Lu family immediately served the fine wine and delicacies. Lu Ming smiled faintly. This was the change brought about by strength. If he had not fought with the Mu family, had not made a name for himself, and had no power, Lu Ming would have been killed by the Lu family's experts with one slap if he had rashly gone to the Lu family and asked to meet their ancestor. But now, the other party was going to serve him courteously, so all he had to do was wait. Lu Ming, Qiu Yu, and the rest chatted while they waited. They didn't have to wait for long before the Lu family's master and the others came over with an old man with a face full of wrinkles. This old man is Lu Gao. Greetings, little brother Lu. As soon as the old man arrived, he greeted him with a smile. This old man was the Lu family's patriarch, Lu Gao. He was also the Hunyuan sect's silver inheritor. It was obvious that he had heard about Lu Ming. That was why he was so polite. Senior is too polite. Lu Ming also smiled faintly. Brother Lu Ming, may I know why you've come to find me? Lu Gao asked, his eyes filled with doubt. Senior, do you remember what this is? A token appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It was the Hunyuan sect's golden inheritor token. Seeing this token, Lu Gao's expression suddenly changed, and he blurted out, Hunyuan sect's gold inheritor. Senior, do you still remember the oath you made back then? Lu Ming asked with a smile. Lu Gao's expression changed rapidly. With his cultivation, the oath from back then could not restrain him at all. He could completely break free from the shackles of the oath. However, the person in front of him was Lu Ming. He was a heaven's favorite with unparalleled talent who had just destroyed the Mu family, and he had several terrifying heavenly emperors behind him. He had to be cautious. Lu Gao naturally remembers the oath he made back then. With that, Lu Gao waved his hand, and a token appeared in his hand. It was the Hunyuan sect's silver-ranked inheritor token. Lu Ming did not say anything and waited for Lu Gao to continue. Lu Gao's eyes flickered as if he was thinking. In the end, his eyes calmed down as if he had made a decision. Chapter 2398, Killing Their Way to the Death God Nation. I've sensed the appearance of the Golden Inheritor decades ago. I didn't expect it to be you. Lu Gao. Greetings, young master. With that, Lu Gao cupped his fists and bowed deeply to Lu Ming. On the side, the Lu family's master and the others were dumbfounded. Senior, there's no need to be so polite. Please rise. Lu Ming revealed a smile. Lu Gao's action was equivalent to submitting to Lu Ming. What are you guys doing? From now on, our Lu family will follow young sect master's lead. If young sect master has any instructions in the future, the Lu family swears to follow you with our lives. Lu Gao looked at the Lu family's head and the others. So, it's the gold inheritor of Hunyuan sect. The higher-ups of the Lu family had already guessed what was going on. They looked at each other and then bowed to Lu Ming. If it was an ordinary heaven's favorite with the Hunyuan sect's gold inheritor token, they would have chased him out even if they did not kill him on the spot. However, Lu Ming was different. Lu Ming's talent was too shocking. Now that his abilities were extremely profound, his future was limitless. It was not a problem for the Lu family to submit to Lu Ming. Everyone, please rise. Lu Ming quickly helped the senior members of the Lu family up. Since the other party was willing to submit to him, he naturally saw his strength and potential. Naturally, he would not put on an overbearing appearance. It's fine as long as you all remember this. I still have to go somewhere else. Goodbye. With that, Lu Ming stepped into the air and left. After Lu Ming and the rest came out, many people started to make guesses. They did not know what had happened to Lu Ming in the Lu family. Lu Ming did not stop. Not long after, he left Aeon City and headed to his next destination. The Tianwen sect was a huge force in the land of the divine fate. Their strength was not inferior to the Lu family. One of the Tianwen sect's patriarchs was also the Hunyuan sect's silver inheritor. After Lu Ming arrived, everyone in the Tianwen sect was very polite to him. This trip was also very smooth, and the old ancestor of the Tianwen sect was willing to submit. The main thing was that he had killed a heavenly emperor in the Battle of Aeon City. This intimidating power was too strong, and those sects and forces did not dare to resist or disobey. If Lu Ming wanted to destroy them in a fit of anger, they would not be able to resist. Following that, Lu Ming visited one force after another according to the list. There were both big and small powers, and they were not limited to the Divine Mandate realm. There were other regions as well. Lu Ming spent a total of 3 months before he managed to visit all the forces. In the past 3 months, Lu Ming had almost traveled all over the Yuan continent. None of those forces dared to fight back. They all submitted to him obediently. In this way, Lu Ming's invisible power was already extremely terrifying and spread all over the Yuan continent. At that time, as long as Lu Ming waved his arms, powerful people would definitely gather and the world would be shaken. After settling these matters, Lu Ming returned to the Heavenly Emperor City and asked Qiu Yu to stay there. It's time to deal with the Death God Nation. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold glint. He would never be at ease if he did not get rid of this force. He then brought Dandan, Bubbles, Earth One, and Thunder One back to the Divine Land. After arriving at the Divine Land, Lu Ming headed to a barren place according to the memory of the assassin from the Death God Nation that he had seen. Here, they found a remote teleportation array. Through this teleportation array, they arrived at a hidden cave. However, this was far from the end. They left the cave and found another teleportation formation in a hidden place tens of thousands of miles away. Just like that, they went through 9 teleportations in total. After the 9th teleportation, they finally arrived at their destination. On the ground, a huge square suddenly emitted a dazzling light. The figures of Lu Ming, Dandan, Bubbles, Earth One, and Thunder One appeared. "Who are you people?" As soon as Lu Ming and the rest appeared, they heard a cold shout. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the square and discovered a few figures looking at them in shock. "The person who will kill you," Lu Ming said coldly and threw a punch. These few people had just entered the martial emperor realm. How could they withstand Lu Ming's punch? They were directly blasted into pieces. What a huge city! Lu Ming and the rest looked in front. In front of them, a huge city stood tall. On the city walls, there were pieces of shining stones, which gave this place a little light. The ancient city was underground. It was the headquarters of the Death God Nation, the ancient city in the memory of the assassins. They were now in a square in front of the ancient city's gate. Enemy attack! At this moment, a sharp cry came from the ancient city, startling the entire city. Buzz! 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 In the ancient city, there were black shadows constantly flashing. They were all assassins from the Death God Nation. "Today, I will destroy the Death God Nation." Lu Ming was the first to step forward. The group of them moved quickly and arrived at the ancient city in an instant. There were no defensive formations on the ancient city. This was because no one had ever found one in the Death God Nation's countless years of history, so there was naturally no need for any defensive formations. They easily passed through the city wall. "Kill! Kill them!" As soon as they entered the ancient city, sharp sword lights shot at them from all directions. However, these sword beams stopped midway, frozen in midair by the Bubbles' space-time laws. "Let's go back." Bubbles waved her hand and the sword lights shot back at an even faster speed. Blood splattered everywhere, and screams rang out. Dozens of assassins in black died on the spot, killed by their own sword lights. However, black shadows flickered in the ancient city, and more assassins were rushing over. 17 different types of light emanated from Lu Ming's body. These lights condensed into spear rays and shot out in all directions. At the same time, Bubbles and Dandan also made their moves, attacking in all directions. More and more assassins were killed, and their bodies fell to the ground like rain. The strongest of the assassins was only at the true Emperor realm. Naturally, They were no match for them and were killed in large numbers. Earth One and Thunder One didn't make a move. He had brought them here just in case. They didn't need to do anything to deal with these assassins. They kept moving forward like tigers in a flock of sheep. They killed more and more black-clothed assassins as they kept pushing toward the center of the city. "You guys retreat." A voice came from the center of the city. In an instant, the assassins in black retreated and disappeared without a trace. At the center of the city, a terrifying killing intent spread out. There were more than 30 auras, each of which was extremely terrifying and exuded an extremely cold killing intent. Great Emperor. These auras belonged to Great Emperor realm experts. The Death God Nation was indeed terrifying. There were more than 30 Great Emperors as soon as they appeared, and they were even stronger than the MU family. Chapter 2400, Annihilate All, Buzz. In the depths of the Death God Nation's ancient city, more than 30 Great Emperors appeared. Lu Ming. When they saw Lu Ming's appearance, someone exclaimed in shock. More than 30 Great Emperors stopped in their tracks, their eyes filled with fear. They did not expect Lu Ming to be the one to kill his way here. The Death God Nation naturally knew about the battle at Aeon City. They never expected that Lu Ming would be able to find the headquarters of the Death God Nation. They looked at Earth One and Thunder One behind Lu Ming and were even more frightened. Leave this place." One of them roared and retreated. There were heavenly emperor powerhouses beside Lu Ming. How could they fight? They would only die if they went up to fight. Now, they only wanted to escape from this place. "Senior Earth One, Senior Thunder One, it'll have to trouble you." Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Earth One and Thunder One. With so many great emperors, if he wanted to kill them all, he could only ask Earth One and Thunder One to help. "I alone am enough, let's go," Lei said first. Then, he turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed out. Earth One laughed but didn't make a move. Zzzzzzz. After Lei rushed out, the sky suddenly filled with endless lightning. Bolts of lightning, thicker than an arm, covered the sky like a spider web and shot towards the 30-odd Great Emperor assassins. These thunderbolts were naturally not ordinary thunderbolts. They were divine powers that Lei had condensed with the heavenly Tao, and they were extremely powerful. Bang, bang. The Great Emperor realm assassins were struck by the lightning and turned into ashes before they could even scream. Ordinary Great Emperors would be killed instantly by the Heavenly Emperor. More than 30 Great Emperor realm assassins were killed in an instant. "All of you die." Lei did not stop. He waved one hand and a ball of lightning appeared in the sky. This ball of lightning floated in the sky above the ancient city and then exploded into countless thunderbolts. Like raindrops, they bombarded the assassins in the ancient city. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, countless assassins in the ancient city were killed by the lightning and turned into ashes. There were countless assassins in the Death God Nation's headquarters, but at this moment, almost all of them were wiped out. Also, at this moment, a cold light flashed in Lei's eyes as he headed deeper into the ancient city. Lu Ming and the rest followed him at top speed. In the depths of the ancient city, there were 7 or 8 figures that were moving extremely fast. They were running in another direction at an extremely fast speed. Peak Emperor! Lu Ming was shocked. They were all peak Great Emperors. The power of the Death God Nation was terrifying. One had to know that even a major force like the MU family only had 2 peak Emperors. There were a total of 8 peak Great Emperors in the Death God Nation. Moreover, their speed was astonishing. If it was only Lu Ming and Dandan, they would not be able to stop them. But now, with Earth One, Thunder One, and the others here, it was different. "You still want to run in front of me?" Lei sneered and took a step forward. His figure turned into a flash of lightning and rushed out. He rushed out in an instant and caught up with the other party. Zzzzzzz. Lightning filled Lei's hand, forming a spear of lightning that pierced through. "Quickly destroy that crystal pagoda." At this time, one of the 8 people shouted. Bang. The next moment, the 8 of them were pierced by the lightning spears. Although the 8 of them were peak Great Emperors, They were completely useless against a heavenly emperor's attack. A few of them let out ear-piercing shrieks as a black shadow twisted violently in their bodies. There was a third eye in the middle of the black shadow's eyebrows. Evil God Tribe. At the sight of this black shadow, Lu Ming was shocked. In an instant he thought of many things. Back then, the evil spirit religion and the demon spirit religion were also founded by the evil god race. It was obvious that the death god nation was the same as the evil spirit religion and the demon spirit religion. They were all created by the evil god race. No wonder they often assassinated the experts and proud children of heaven in the primordial realm. The figures twisted a few times before turning into ashes and dissipating. The Crystal Pagoda. The next moment, Lu Ming thought of the Crystal Pagoda. Before the evil god tribe's expert died, he shouted, "Quickly destroy that Crystal Pagoda." For an expert of the evil god tribe to still think about it even before his death, that Crystal Pagoda must be very important. "Find that Crystal Pagoda." Lu Ming shouted. "I found it." Bubbles spoke. Then she waved her hands and a space-time tunnel appeared in the air. On the other side of the space-time tunnel was a 3-meter-tall crystal tower. It was shining and covered in all sorts of runes. 2 assassins in black were heading toward the Crystal Pagoda at top speed. They were obviously going to destroy it. In front of this old master, don't even think about it. Zzzzzzz. Lei Yi rushed through the space-time tunnel. 2 bolts of lightning burst out and killed the 2 men in black. Following that, Lu Ming, Dandan, Bubbles, and 2E also rushed over through the space-time tunnel and arrived at the Crystal Pagoda. The Crystal Pagoda was covered in symbols and was extremely colorful. "What is this?" Lu Ming looked at it carefully and was somewhat puzzled. Could it be the base of a great formation? So it's this kind of thing. Dandan touched her chin and revealed a thoughtful look. "Dandan, do you know what this is?" Lu Ming asked curiously. "Of course I do. This is the most ancient tool for transmitting information. It has almost been lost. It seems like the evil god tribe still has this tool for transmitting information," Dandan said. "A tool to send messages?" Lu Ming's eyes lit up. "Dandan," he said, "can you interpret the information inside?" The evil god tribe's information transmitting tool was something that they valued so much. There might be some incredible information inside. "Young master, I'll go and deal with the rest." Lei Yi's figure flickered and he left the place. As for Dandan, she was wandering around the Crystal Pagoda and began to study it. After a while, Lei Yi returned. Apparently, he had killed all the assassins and brought back all their storage rings. This was an extremely huge harvest. The Death God Nation had accumulated so many resources over the years and they were shockingly abundant. All of them now belonged to Lu Ming. Lu Ming kept all of them. In the future, if the Dragon Alliance wanted to develop, it would definitely need a huge amount of resources. The more they accumulated, the better. Dandan continued to study it. After a few hours, Dandan finally began to work. Runes entered the Crystal Pagoda one after another. "Open!" After Dandan circled the crystal tower 360 times, she let out a low growl and took a step forward. Countless runes covered the crystal tower. Buzz! The Crystal Pagoda buzzed and glowed brightly. Then, information began to spread out from the Crystal Pagoda. It was very strange. They stood by the Crystal Pagoda and could clearly access the information. In fact, there were even images emerging. This is, when Lu Ming came into contact with some information, his pupils suddenly widened and he was shocked. Chapter 2401. A huge secret. When he saw the information and pictures in the Crystal Pagoda, Lu Ming was shocked. Lu Ming was not the only one. Dandan, Bubbles, Earth One, and Thunder One were also greatly shocked and had looks of disbelief on their faces. From the information in the Crystal Pagoda, they learned that the alien race was going to open a huge passage to the primordial realm. Yes, this plan had been going on for many years. A picture emerged from the Crystal Pagoda. In this picture, there was an unknown area where countless foreign races gathered. They were setting up a large array, and the foundation of this large array was a pile of white bones. With these bones as the foundation, a huge passage was opened. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Upon seeing this picture, Bubbles kept on crying out, appearing to be very sad, angry, and anxious. The bone banner of the space-time spirit rat. Damn it, the last generation of the space-time spirit rat's bone banner was obtained by a foreign tribe and used to open a passage. Dandan also let out an angry roar. The bone insect of the time and space spirit mouse. Lu Ming understood everything. It seemed that the body of the previous generation's space-time spirit rat had fallen into the hands of a foreign race. The space-time spirit mouse could control space-time. It had reached an extreme level in the use of space-time. Every drop of blood and every strand of hair on its body was related to space-time. It was indeed possible for the alien races to open a huge and stable passage in the boundless void with the bone banner of the space-time spirit rats, which could allow a large number of alien races to pass through. The destination of this passage was the primordial realm. Where is it? Lu Ming grew anxious and continued to read the information in the crystal pagoda. Not long after, they made a discovery. On a huge island, the figures of men in black flickered. In the sky, there was a huge vortex. It was obvious that the people of the Death God Nation were working with the evil god tribe to open a passage in the primordial realm. It's overseas. Not long after, they finally arrived at the specific location. It was not in the Yuan continent but overseas. This crystal pagoda actually hid such a secret. No wonder that foreign race wanted to destroy it even when he was dying. Lu Ming and the rest were secretly afraid. If the alien races opened this passage, the army would invade, and the primordial realm would be finished. Once the primordial realm was over, the Taiching heavenly region would also be in danger. They only stopped after carefully examining the information in the crystal pagoda. Let's go. Well, kill the people of the Death God Nation first, and then inform the experts of the heaven realm. Let the heaven realm send people to guard there. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with cold, murderous intent. He was secretly afraid. Fortunately, they had discovered him. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Kill, we must kill them, chirp chirp. Bubbles cried out as well, dancing with joy and a fierce look on her face. The previous generation's space-time spirit mouse was equivalent to Bubbles' mother. But now, after its death, its bones were being used for this kind of torture. It would be strange if she wasn't filled with killing intent. After the plan was made, they immediately left and flew north. According to the information they had obtained, the destination of the foreign tribe's passageway was the endless sea in the north of the Yuan continent. That place, like the divine wilderness continent, was called the Barren Land. However, that place was not as remote as the divine wilderness continent, nor was it as far away from the Yuan continent as the divine wilderness continent. Earth 1 and Thunder 1 brought Lu Ming, Dandan, and Bubbles and rushed towards the north of the Yuan continent. With their heavenly emperor realm cultivation, their speed was too fast. Not long after, they left the Yuan continent and came to the boundless sea. They followed the sea and headed north. 2 days later, they finally neared their destination. In front of them was an incomparably huge island. Rather than calling it an island, it could be said that it was a continent. A continent that was similar to the divine wilderness continent, but its surface area was even larger than the divine wilderness continent. However, compared to the Yuan continent, it was like an island. In the sky above the island, a huge vortex was suspended there, covering the entire island. From this, it could be seen just how huge this passageway would be once it was opened. In an instant, countless evil god tribe members would be able to flood in. From a distance, they could see many black shadows flashing on the island. They were all assassins from the Death God Nation. From the looks of it, that passageway should not have been opened yet. The Death God Nation is working with the evil god tribe to open the passageway as soon as possible. Dandan said in a low voice. Let's attack. Well, kill the people of the Death God Nation first, and then destroy the great formation here. Lu Ming said. The others all nodded. Buzz. Buzz. They moved. They didn't hide their figures anymore and rushed toward the island. In a few breaths, they were close to the island. There's someone. Not good, I've been discovered. Kill them. More than 1,000 men in black rose into the sky from the island and launched an attack on Lu Ming and the rest. Bush. Thousands of sword gleams shot toward Lu Ming and the rest from all directions like raindrops. Die, die! Lei Yi shouted coldly and struck out with his palm. Endless thunderbolts formed in the air like a spider web and rushed towards the black-clothed men. Those men in black couldn't resist at all and were killed immediately. From a distance, thousands of men in black fell to the ground like thousands of mosquitoes. Kill! Lu Ming shouted coldly and dashed into the island. This island was really huge, as big as a continent. There were countless assassins from the Death God Nation on this island, and it was obvious that all the other creatures on this island had been killed by them. As Lu Ming and the group went deeper, men in black rushed out from all over the island. Humans of the primordial realm, kill! All of a sudden, a series of loud roars rang out. From the depths of the island, a group of burly figures rushed toward Lu Ming and the rest. Their auras were extremely shocking. Great Emperor! There were at least a few dozen great emperors charging toward them. The most shocking thing was that these great emperors were all from the evil god race. How could there be so many evil god tribesmen in the primordial realm? Not good. It's very likely that the passageway has already been slightly torn apart. That's why some of the evil god tribe members have entered. Dandan's expression changed and became extremely serious. If that was the case, then the passageway was not far from being completely opened. In an instant, the members of the evil god race had already charged over. Die! The Great Desolation Spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a shake of the Great Desolation Spear, rays of spear light flew out and killed a few great Emperor-level foreign tribe cultivators. At the same time, Earth One and the rest also made their move. With the two heavenly monarchs attacking, great sovereigns were no match for them and were constantly killed. However, from the depths of the island, more and more figures flew out. They were all from the evil god race, and there were so many of them that it was shocking. From their auras, there were actually more than 100 great Emperor realm experts. The number was still increasing, and there were quite a few peak great emperors. No matter how many come, kill them all. Earth One's eyes were filled with killing intent. The meteor hammer appeared in his hand and gave off a terrifying aura. Boom! The meteoric hammer suddenly blasted out, like a planet smashing forward. Chapter 2402, Crisis. The meteor hammer was a Heaven Dao soldier and was extremely terrifying. When activated by Earth One, its power was even more shocking. This strike was like a huge star smashing out. If it hit the ground, the island would be shattered. A Heaven Dao soldier, it's the Celestial Emperor. Not good. The faces of the evil god race members changed as they retreated rapidly. However, their speed was not as fast as the meteor hammer. The meteor hammer was about to hit them. People of the primordial realm, how dare you kill our race's powerhouses? You're courting death. At this moment, a loud roar came from the depths of the island. Then, a huge palm stretched out from the depths of the island. The palm was covered in pitch-black scales that blocked out the sky and the sun. It collided with the meteor hammer. Boom! It was as if the end of the world had arrived. After an incomparably violent boom, the meteor hammer actually trembled and was struck back by this palm. However, the palm was completely fine. After exchanging a blow with the Heaven Dao soldier, his palm did not show any signs of abnormality, not even a scale falling off. The hand retracted, and a figure suddenly appeared in the sky. This was an evil god tribe member, and his entire body was covered in black scales. From the looks of it, he seemed like an ordinary member of the evil god race. However, his body size was very different from that of an ordinary member of the evil god race. The ordinary members of the evil god race were all tall and burly. However, this evil god race member's body was similar to that of an ordinary person's, and it was well-proportioned and slender. Apart from the scales all over his body and the third eye between his brows, he was no different from a human. However, his aura was extremely terrifying and powerful. Not good, it's a peerless expert. Earth One's expression changed drastically as he shouted. There was actually a peerless expert here. Only existences above the 4-star heavenly emperor level could be called peerless experts. Kill, die. The evil god tribe's peerless powerhouse shouted coldly. He waved his hand, and his palm rapidly grew in size, pressing down on two. At the same time, a destructive light burst out from his third eye, turning into a destructive battle sword that slashed down on Lu Ming and the others. Earth One erupted with all his strength and controlled the meteor hammer to strike. As for Lei, he opened his mouth and spat out a combat sword that was shining with lightning. It exuded a terrifying aura and attacked the evil god tribe. This was Lei's Heaven Dao soldier. The Primal Chaos Palace had left behind 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. One was with Thunder One and the other with Gold One. Boom. Boom. With 2 consecutive terrifying rumbles, Lei and 2E were actually blocked and could not do anything to each other. Heaven Dao soldiers, 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. My luck isn't bad, they're all mine. The evil god tribe's peerless expert laughed and unleashed his full power as he charged toward Earth One and Thunder One. Earth One and Thunder One also unleashed their full strength and engaged in a great battle with the other party. However, it was difficult to determine the victor in a short time. The 2 of them were entangled and unable to escape. Young master, you guys should leave quickly. Earth One roared. This time, it was impossible for them to destroy the other party. Things had gone beyond their expectations. The alien race had already torn a hole in the passage. Not only were there a large number of experts entering, but there was even a peerless expert. This peerless expert had the cultivation of a 4-star heavenly emperor and was extremely powerful. Earth One and Thunder One's cultivation was at 2-star celestial emperor. Even with the help of the Heaven Dao soldiers, the 2 of them could only barely protect themselves when facing each other. And this was when the other party didn't have Heaven Dao soldiers. If they did, they would be dead for sure. The only thing they could do now was to stall the other party and let Lu Ming and the rest escape so that they could pass the news to the Heaven Realm. Earth One, Thunder One, Lu Ming roared. Let's go, young master. We must leave. The news here must be spread. Don't worry about us. We have our own ways to escape. Lei also shouted. Let's go. Lu Ming gritted his teeth. He no longer hesitated and turned to leave. However, at this moment, a large group of the evil god race had already surrounded them and were charging toward them with attacks. Kill! Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot and he kept sweeping his long spear. Bang! Bang! Those who were swept by Lu Ming's long spear exploded immediately, no matter if they were true emperors or great emperors. Brat die! An unusually burly member of the evil god race held a battle axe and exchanged a blow with Lu Ming. A terrifying force gushed over. Lu Ming's body trembled and he could not help but retreat. Peak Emperor! Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could fight against a 6-star Great Emperor, but he was definitely no match for a peak Great Emperor. In addition, Dandan and Bubbles had also encountered strong enemies. Bubbles' cultivation had yet to break through to the Great Emperor realm. In such a battle, he would not be of much use. He stood on Lu Ming's shoulder and assisted him. On the other hand, Dandan was surrounded by several peak Great Emperors. However, Dandan's battle power was extremely strong and she completely suppressed the peak Emperors, forcing them to retreat. Buzz! All of a sudden, Dandan gave up on attacking. In a flash, she rushed toward Lu Ming and sent the evil god tribe member who was attacking Lu Ming flying with a single move. He spat out a large mouthful of blood. Lu Ming, follow me. We're going out. Die! Dandan shouted as he charged forward. Every time he attacked, it was like a world was being blasted out. Even peak emperors couldn't stop him. Bang! Bang! A few peak great emperors were sent flying and spat out blood. Everyone stopped them. Don't let them escape. The peerless expert of the evil god tribe shouted. Kill! Kill them! A large group of evil god tribe members rushed over and attacked Lu Ming and the others without any regard for their lives. Space-time! Bubbles' small hands kept waving, trying to seal off the space-time and stop those foreign races. It was a pity that Bubbles' cultivation base was too weak. He could block those below Great Emperor, but he could not block those above Great Emperor, especially those advanced Great Emperors. The other party struggled with all its might and broke free from the bubble's space-time power. The peak Great Emperors ignored the bubble's space-time power and continued to attack Lu Ming and the others. There were too many of them. Although Dandan's combat strength was strong and she could crush experts of the same level, there were too many of them. She couldn't take the continuous attacks. At least 10 peak Great Emperors were attacking Dandan. Their path was blocked and it was difficult for them to get out. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, the vortex above the island let out a deafening roar. It seemed that someone was trying to break the passage and come here. Lu Ming and the rest were anxious. If even more powerful evil god tribe members came, they would really be finished. Dandan roared loudly and transformed into her true form, her attack power even stronger. One of the peak emperors from the evil god tribe was struck by Dandan and was instantly annihilated. However, at the same time, dozens of attacks fell on Dandan. These attacks were all from 6-star Great Emperors and even peak Great Emperors. No matter how strong Dandan's defense was, she couldn't take it and was forced to retreat. Chapter 2403, Frenzied Borrowing. Kill the 2 weak ones first, kill. Someone from the evil god race shouted. Instantly, 2 peak Great Emperor evil god race members went around Dandan and charged toward Lu Ming and Pao Pao. Before they even reached Lu Ming, 2 terrifying beams of destructive light were already heading for him. Lu Ming exerted all his strength and 17 types of laws covered his entire body. His muscles trembled non-stop and he swept out the Great Desolation Spear. Boom, boom. The 2 beams of destructive light bombarded the Great Desolation Spear. The Great Desolation Spear trembled violently and the power of law on it was destroyed. The 2 beams of energy surged over. Lu Ming's body shook violently and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Wounds appeared on his body and blood flowed out. Lu Ming was no match for 2 peak Great Emperors and was injured in one move. Fortunately, Lu Ming's defense was amazing and he had used the indestructible ancient scroll. His injuries were healing rapidly and it did not affect his combat strength much. What do we do? Lu Ming's mind was racing. He was no match for a peak emperor. As for the Heavenly Emperor corporeal body, there wasn't much energy stored in it. If he wanted to deal with a peak Great Emperor, the energy in the Heavenly Emperor corporeal body had to reach 100%. Otherwise, it would be useless. Under such circumstances, even if Celestial Emperor's corporeal Bodhis energy reached 100%, it would still be useless. There were too many foreign races. At this moment, there were almost 20 peak Great Emperors, and there were even more Great Emperors of other levels. Deep in the island, alien races were still coming. It was as if an army of alien races was stationed on this island. Lu Ming still had the Fallen Star Bow. However, his cultivation was only at the true Emperor realm. Even if he used the Fallen Star Bow, it would not be of much use. In addition, Lu Ming still had the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Unfortunately, the energy of the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldrons seemed to have been exhausted after the previous battle. All these years, there was no movement at all, and Lu Ming could not control it. Now, he only had one trump card, and that was the 3rd bloodline. In the past, he didn't dare to use the 3rd bloodline as it was too evil and seemed to have endless power. However, every time he used the power of the 3rd bloodline, he felt as if he would be eroded by it and become a killing puppet. However, he had no choice but to use it today. Otherwise, they would all have to stay here. They needed someone to escape and spread the news. Otherwise, it would affect the safety of the Tianyuan world and Lu Ming's family and friends. Come on! Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. With a thought, his 3rd bloodline appeared. A wave of energy gushed out from the 3rd bloodline and surged into Lu Ming's body. Kill, kill, kill. Roars rang out in Lu Ming's mind, and a cold, killing intent emanated from him. His eyes and hair had turned blood red. Bush, bush. Lu Ming thrust his spear twice, and 2 spear gleams collided with the 2 peak Great Emperor Realm Evil God Tribe members. With 2 loud bangs, Lu Ming's body swayed and he took a few steps back. However, he had also blocked the attacks of the two evil god tribe members. What is this? Doubt and solemnness flashed in the eyes of the two evil god tribe members. Lu Ming's strength suddenly increased explosively, making them feel puzzled. Not enough, it's still not enough. Again. Lu Ming growled in his heart. The energy in his third bloodline continued to surge into Lu Ming's body, making his killing intent even stronger. Kill, kill! Lu Ming shouted and charged at the two evil god tribe members. This time, Lu Ming's strength had increased greatly and he could completely suppress the two members of the evil god tribe. Bang! Bang! The two members of the evil god race were sent flying by Lu Ming. However, they were not seriously injured and only suffered minor injuries. Not enough, it's still not enough. Lu Ming roared in his heart. Today, borrowing a little bit of power was far from enough. He had to have overwhelming power to escape. Boom. The third bloodline was like a boundless sea of blood, filled with boundless power. At this moment, the sea of blood churned and waves of energy gushed into Lu Ming's body. Blood mist continued to spread out from Lu Ming's body. There were even bone spikes that appeared on his body. Lu Ming's appearance became extremely ferocious. The bubble was shocked and flew away from Lu Ming's body. Brother Lu Ming! Bubbles was extremely anxious. Bubbles had seen Lu Ming's appearance before. At that time, Lu Ming almost lost himself and became a killing puppet. Bubble, leave quickly! Lu Ming roared. At this moment, his will was severely challenged. His heart was filled with endless killing intent. He only retained a trace of will to control himself. Then, Lu Ming let out a roar and rushed toward Dandan. At this moment, Lu Ming simply put away the Great Desolation Spear, because his claws had become extremely sharp. Kill! Lu Ming roared and clawed at a peak emperor of the non-human race. This non-human emperor was unable to resist at all. His attack and defense were destroyed by Lu Ming. Then, Lu Ming grabbed his body and tore him in half. Then, Lu Ming charged toward the other alien races. Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. It's Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart is still alive. Ha! We must capture that kid. In the sky, an extremely excited voice came from the other side of the passage. Then, the passage began to shake crazily. The wind and clouds changed color, as if it was going to be torn apart at any time. As for the alien races, they became even more frenzied when they heard the voice. They kept charging at Lu Ming. Die, die! Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot. His claws were like knives as he pounced. Lu Ming tore the alien races apart one by one. Even a peak emperor couldn't stop Lu Ming. Those below the peak emperor realm couldn't even withstand a single blow and were killed by Lu Ming in groups. Dandan, Bubble, charge out with me. Lu Ming roared and charged forward with all his might. Wherever he passed, the alien races were killed continuously, and he carved out a bloody path. At this moment, the bubble flew to Dandan. Dandan carried her and followed behind Lu Ming, charging out together. Don't even think about leaving. The unparalleled expert who was fighting with Earth 1 and Thunder 1 shouted coldly. He wanted to give up on Earth 1 and Thunder 1 and attack Lu Ming. However, Earth 1 and Thunder 1 burst forth with no regard for their lives, pushing the power of the Heavendao soldiers to the extreme and holding on tightly to the other party. It was not easy for the other party to escape in a short time. Sela. At this moment, a loud boom came from the passage in the sky. Then, an opening was forcefully opened. One could see that there were two hands on both sides of the opening. They tore it open with all their might, and the opening slowly grew larger, turning into a spatial rift. Boom! A towering figure suddenly rushed out of the crack and appeared in the sky above the island. The towering figure was burly and covered in purple scales. It exuded a terrifying aura. The Celestial Emperor. This was a heavenly emperor-level powerhouse. Although this foreign being was not as powerful as the peerless powerhouse, he was indeed a powerhouse of the heavenly emperor realm. Not good. The expressions of 2E, Lei, and Dandan changed drastically. Chapter 2404 Endless Number of Experts. At the critical moment, a heavenly emperor from the alien race crossed the void and descended from another world. Even an ordinary heavenly emperor could change the situation. The alien's eyes were ferocious as he looked at Lu Ming and Dandan. He took a step forward and appeared above them. Boom! A huge mace appeared in his hand and he swung it at Lu Ming. The mace had yet to reach them, but the terrifying qi had already made it difficult for Dandan, Lu Ming, and the rest to breathe. Dandan and Lu Ming made their moves at the same time. Dandan opened her mouth and spat out a world, while Lu Ming punched out continuously with both fists, gathering into a blood-red fist force that hit the mace. Boom! Boom! With 2 consecutive loud bangs, the small world that Dandan had spat out shook violently and then flew back into Dandan's body. Dandan's body retreated rapidly and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming's fist force was also crushed. He retreated rapidly, his body felt like it was about to be torn apart. The Celestial the Arch was too powerful. Although Lu Ming could kill a peak great emperor with the power he borrowed, he was still no match for the Celestial the Arch. All of you die. The non-human Celestial Thearch's eyes were ferocious as he charged toward Lu Ming and the others. That brat has the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. We can't kill him. Take him down. As for the others, kill them without mercy. Another voice came from the other side of the passage. The alien heavenly emperor's eyes flickered as he brandished his mace and smashed it towards Dandan. Don't even think about it. Lu Ming rushed over and blocked this move, but his injuries worsened. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, the tunnel was shaking violently, and the crack was getting bigger and bigger. Buzz. At this time, another figure rushed out of the crack. It was also an alien race powerhouse. From his aura, he was also a heavenly emperor. Damn it! Earth 1, Thunder 1, and the others roared, extremely anxious. The foreign races were going all out and continuously sending their experts over. That passage hadn't been fully opened yet. The non-human kind would have to pay a heavy price to send their powerful warriors here. But the alien race didn't seem to care. "I'm finished, this lord will die here today." Dandan looked up to the sky and sighed. With 2 non-human heavenly emperors appearing in a row, there was no way they could escape. Just surrender. The non-human Celestial the Arch laughed and swung his mace at Lu Ming and the rest again. The foreign being who came later also charged over. If this continues, it'll go all out. Strength, strength, I want strength. Lu Ming roared in his heart. As you wish. A cold voice came from the 3rd bloodline. The blood sea churned and formed a huge human face. Boom, boom, boom. Waves of more powerful energy surged into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's power was rising steadily. This kid, the 2 foreign heavenly emperors looked grim. It's the power of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Attack and take him down. A dignified voice came from the other side of the passage. Boom, boom, boom. That passage shook more violently. The alien tribes were still worried. They wanted to send more experts here. Kill! At this moment, Lu Ming looked up to the sky and roared. At this moment, his will was completely overwhelmed by the endless killing intent. At this moment, there was only endless killing intent in Lu Ming's heart and nothing else. He had forgotten everything and was completely controlled by his instincts and killing intent. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming let out a long howl and charged toward the 2 foreign Celestial the Arch. The 2 foreign Celestial Thearchs had grave expressions on their faces. They did not dare to hold back. They used all their strength to fight Lu Ming. Continuous rumbles were heard. The 2 foreign Celestial Thearchs were locked in a fierce battle with Lu Ming. The alien Celestial the Arch was actually blocked by Lu Ming. Brother Lu Ming. Bubbles was extremely anxious. It's over. This kid is completely controlled by the killing intent. Dandan was also extremely anxious. Little guy, we must rush out. If no one manages to rush out, then everything will be over. Dandan sent a voice transmission to Bubble and then rushed out with all her might. However, there were too many foreign races. They kept rushing towards Dandan and blocked her way. They were completely passive. Tu Yi and Lei Yi were blocked while Lu Ming was engaged in a fierce battle with the two foreign celestial thearchs. Dandan and the others were also blocked. If this continued, they would be left behind sooner or later. Power, power. Lu Ming had lost his consciousness and only had his instincts. He instinctively wanted to tear apart the enemy in front of him and kill all the living beings he saw. Therefore, the third bloodline continued to pour energy into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's strength grew stronger and stronger. At first, he could only fight to a draw with the two Outlander Heavenly Emperors. However, slowly, Lu Ming began to gain the upper hand and began to suppress the two Outlanders. The two alien Heavenly Emperors were forced to retreat by Lu Ming. One of the alien Heavenly Emperors was caught off guard and was grazed by Lu Ming's sharp claws. A large piece of his flesh was torn off, causing him to retreat in fear. Kill! Lu Ming roared and swept his claws. The surrounding alien races below the celestial the arch level were swept by the claw and exploded into the ashes dissipated. The alien races below the celestial the arch level were so frightened that they retreated. They did not dare to approach Lu Ming. Trash, all of you are trash. An angry roar came from the passage. On the other side of the passage, on the other side of the endless void, was another world. It was the world of the foreign races, the evil god world. In a vast and uninhabited area of the evil god tribe, there was an extremely huge formation. The base of this formation had been condensed from the bones of the space-time spirit rat, and it was filled with countless runes. At this moment, there were a few alien races standing in the sky. These foreign beings looked no different from humans. They had purple hair and a third eye in the middle of their brows. This was the royal clan of the evil god race. Behind these few members of the evil god tribe's royal family was a dense and endless army of other races. Above the huge array was an extremely huge passage. It was several times larger than the vortex where Lu Ming and the rest were. At this moment, there were at least a few dozen foreign overlords bombarding the passageway with the power of the formation, trying to open up a gap. You must bring back the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Once the sacred ancestor Bloodheart is resurrected, our race will be invincible. We can conquer the heaven realm in just a few days. One of the evil god tribe's royal members said. This person had a square face and was filled with dignity, as if he held supreme power. That's right. We must bring back the bloodline of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. It seems that we'll have to go there personally. Beside the dignified royal member were two other royal members of the evil god tribe. At this moment, one of them spoke. All right. The dignified royal in the middle nodded and then said, continue to increase the number of crystals, regardless of the price. All of a sudden, the non-human race members flew out, and an ocean of crystals flew into the formation. The formation glowed, and its power became even stronger. Buzz! Buzz! The two royal family members rushed out and rushed into the passage. Chapter 24:05 Titan Longhorn Descends. At this moment, the battle had already entered a state of white heat. Lu Ming completely suppressed the two non-human heavenly emperors, and his attacks became more and more ferocious. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. He grabbed one of the alien heavenly emperors and tore him in half with all his might. Save me! The alien didn't die and shouted in fear. Boom! The other alien seized the opportunity and launched a fierce attack on Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body trembled and he took a few steps back. He then threw the alien's body away. The foreign heavenly emperor's body fused together, and his face was pale. A heavenly emperor powerhouse would naturally not die so easily, but he was still frightened just now. Lu Ming's aura was too terrifying. His killing intent was as cold as a knife. If no one else helped him, he would really die in Lu Ming's hands. The two foreign heavenly emperors had ugly expressions. If this continued, they would really die here. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, the tunnel started to shake violently, even more so than before. Then, the crack grew bigger and bigger. Then, everyone saw two purple rays of light rush out of the crack. The two rays of purple light faded, revealing two figures. My lords! The two non-human heavenly emperors were overjoyed when they saw the two figures. These two figures were the two royal powerhouses of the non-human race. "We're really finished," Dandan shouted. Originally, there were too many powerful beings of the foreign kinds, and they couldn't resist at all. Now, there were two more, and they were two royal families of the foreign kinds. From the expressions of the two foreign heavenly emperors, one could tell that they were extremely terrifying beings. "A bunch of trash, get out of my way." One of the non-human kings stepped forward. His purple hair danced in the wind, and his body glowed with purple light. At the same time, he struck out with his palm. A huge purple palm came crashing down on Lu Ming. That kind of aura was simply earth-shattering, causing people's faces to change. Unparalleled expert. This is an unparalleled expert. Dandan couldn't help but exclaim. Today was the end. This non-human king was a peerless expert above the 4-star heavenly emperor level. His strength was even stronger than the previous peerless expert. He was extremely terrifying. In addition, there was also a non-human royal family that had not made a move, but his strength was definitely terrifying. However, Lu Ming was not the least bit afraid of this move. Or rather, he did not know what fear was. In his heart, there was only killing. Power, power, kill. Lu Ming roared madly. His instinct made him constantly borrow the power of the third bloodline. The surging energy gushed out from Lu Ming's third blood meridian and surged into his body. Cracks began to appear on Lu Ming's body, and blood kept flowing out. It was impossible for Lu Ming to borrow the third bloodline's power endlessly because his physical strength was limited. If there was too much power, his physical body would explode. He was able to use such a powerful force to suppress the celestial arch. It was all thanks to his powerful physical body. Otherwise, it would have been impossible. Now, Lu Ming had already reached his limit. Lu Ming soared into the sky like a wild beast and threw a punch at the palm of the non-human king. Boom! A deafening boom was heard. Lu Ming's body trembled violently and he flew backward like a kite with a broken string. His body cracked and he coughed up blood. The other party had shown mercy. It was obvious that the royal non-human race did not want to kill Lu Ming. They wanted to capture Lu Ming alive for great use. "You're putting up a stubborn resistance," the non-human king said coldly. He stretched out his hand again and sent another palm toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming howled fearlessly and once again confronted his opponent. This time, Lu Ming was sent flying and his injuries were even more serious. "What are you guys doing? Go and kill those people. A space-time spirit rat and a world turtle, we can get rid of them." The non-human king who didn't make a move ordered coldly. The two foreign heavenly emperors' expressions changed, and they stepped out at the same time, charging toward Dandan and the others. As for the non-human royalty who didn't make a move, he headed toward Earth 1 and Thunder 1. They wanted to end this battle once and for all. At this moment, in the distance, a bull's roar came from the distance. The sound was shocking and carried a terrifying power. The low-level non-human beings below the Emperor level were all blown apart by the sound. Even the great Emperor alien was struck by lightning. His body cracked and he spat out blood. In an instant, countless alien races died on the spot. However, the strange thing was that Dandan and Bubbles were completely fine. As for Lu Ming, after being hit by the cry, his consciousness, which had been completely drowned by the murderous intent, actually showed a trace of clarity. He could barely make out his current situation. This voice, Lu Ming was overjoyed. "Old bull, it's that old bull." "Huh," Dandan laughed crazily. In the distance, a giant bull as tall as the sky stepped over. It seemed very slow, but it was actually astonishingly fast. In an instant, it had arrived in front of them. Buzz! The giant bull roared again, and the terrifying sound waves rushed toward the non-human king race and the non-human celestial emperor. The expressions of the two ordinary foreign heavenly emperors changed drastically. They tried their best to block, but they were still sent flying and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. The Titanos, the non-human king who attacked Lu Ming, shouted in anger. His entire body glowed and he clapped his hands to resist the sound waves. Boom! Boom. A violent fluctuation was heard. The non-human king's body trembled continuously and he actually retreated. The Titan longhorn beetle. Yes, this giant beetle was the Titan longhorn beetle. Lu Ming had never expected that the Titan longhorn beetle would dare to come to his aid at such a critical moment. Wasn't the Titan longhorn beetle guarding a forbidden area in the Azure continent? It had actually rushed here. A heavily injured and sick bull. Do you think you can save them by coming here? Stay here today. The non-human royal who didn't make a move earlier spoke coldly. He took a step forward, and a terrifying aura burst out from his body. He was even stronger than the one who had attacked earlier. What if him included? A figure suddenly appeared beside the Titan longhorn beetle. It was a middle-aged man. He was tall and thin, but he was handsome. His eyes were sharp and filled with vicissitudes of life. However, an unfathomable aura emanated from his body. 9 lives, it's you. Ha, you're all here to save me, right? Ha. Dandan laughed wildly. Interesting. Today, 4 of the top 10 war beasts of the heaven realm have come. Let's get rid of them together. The non-human king who didn't make a move earlier spoke coldly. His body glowed with purple light as he took a step forward and threw a punch at the tall, thin middle-aged man. As for the other non-human king, he charged towards the Titan longhorn beetle. An intense battle began. Go, quickly go. At this moment, Lu Ming managed to regain a trace of his consciousness. He shouted at Dandan and the rest, then leaped and killed the 2 ordinary celestial thearchs of the alien race. Chapter 2406, Captured. Lu Ming's entire body was shrouded in a blood-colored mist. He turned into a stream of light and pounced toward the 2 foreign celestial thearchs. Along the way, the bodies of some of the other alien races exploded. The 2 foreign celestial thearchs' expressions changed drastically. They did not hope to achieve anything, but they hoped that they would not make any mistakes. The 2 of them joined forces to defend with all their might. However, they were still hit by Lu Ming with one move and spat out mouthfuls of blood. They almost died. Retreat! The Titan longhorn beetle's voice resounded through the sky. Its horns were like scimitars as it slashed at its opponent. You want to save people with your severely injured bodies? Don't even think about leaving today. The non-human king let out a roar. His entire body was covered in purple light, and his battle power was incomparably powerful. He fought an intense battle with the Titan longhorn beetle. If the Titan longhorn beetle was at its peak during the ancient times, he wouldn't be its opponent at all. However, in the battle of the ancient times, the Titan longhorn beetle had been seriously injured and had yet to recover. He had no fear at all. Buzz! The Titan longhorn beetle roared. Its roar shook the heavens, and the void collapsed. Its power was terrifying. In the distance, Earth 1 and Thunder 1 were still fighting with an unparalleled expert of the foreign tribe. However, at this moment, the roar of the Titan longhorn beetle came rushing over. The unparalleled expert's expression changed as he tried his best to block it and retreated a few steps. With that, Earth 1 and Thunder 1 finally found an opportunity to escape. They retreated 10,000 miles and came to Lu Ming's side. Young master, let's go! Earth 1 roared. Let's go! At this moment, Lu Ming was affected by the Titan longhorn beetle and managed to regain a trace of clarity. He also understood the current situation and that it was better to leave. Buzz! 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 They quickly retreated. Stay! At this moment, a loud shout came from the sky. Then, the sky cracked open, and a huge purple hand stretched out from the sky. It covered the sky and the sun. It was extremely huge, and it grabbed at Lu Ming, 2E, and Lei. The pressure was so strong that it was terrifying. It was the most powerful expert that Lu Ming had encountered so far. How is that possible? Lu Ming's pupils contracted rapidly. The other party didn't attack through that passage, but directly broke through the void. If the enemy was in the evil god world, they could actually break through the void and attack. This kind of strength was just too terrifying, not good. Heavenly Emperor at the peak of the Heavenly Emperor realm, retreat! Dandan shouted. However, There was no way to retreat in the face of this huge palm. "Young master, leave quickly!" Earth One roared, and then burst out with all his strength. He pushed the meteor hammer to the extreme and blasted it toward the large hand. At the same time, Lei Yi activated the Heavendao soldier with all his might and attacked the hand. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. His body was covered with bone spikes, making him look extremely ferocious. He also attacked the big hand. The three of them joined forces, and their power reached the extreme. They bombarded the giant purple hand. Boom, boom, boom. 3 earth-shaking explosions occurred in a row, and the air waves whistled like mountains and seas. The 2 Heavendao soldiers trembled violently before flying back. Earth One and Thunder One were jolted back by the force and were sent flying tens of thousands of miles. Lu Ming's body trembled violently as well. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and his body flew backward. However, just as his body was about to fly backward, the huge purple hand burst out with an extremely powerful suction force. It sucked Lu Ming in and flew towards the huge purple hand. Not good. The Titan longhorn beetle and the tall and thin man named 9 Lives wanted to help, but they were held back by 2 foreign tribe royal family members. Buzz. Lu Ming flew directly to the palm of the big hand. Lu Ming burst out in a frenzy and attacked with all his might, but it was useless. The big hand was firm and immortal, and its strength was extremely strong. He could not break it at all. The next moment, the big hand clenched and grabbed Lu Ming. At this moment, a terrifying and boundless energy gushed into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body trembled, and the last bit of consciousness he had turned blurry and he lost consciousness. After the big hand grabbed Lu Ming, it shrank back. "Young master!" Earth One and Thunder One roared and wanted to save him. "Don't be rash. The person who attacked is a peak heavenly emperor. Although he attacked from a great distance and his power is greatly reduced, Lu Ming has already been captured by him. We can't save him with our strength. Retreat first." The Titanos roared. The aura on his body became stronger and stronger. He suddenly roared and forced his opponent to retreat. "Titan, take them away first. I'll block the foreign tribe," the tall and thin middle-aged man said. The aura on his body became stronger and stronger, and his attacking power became more and more astonishing. He actually managed to block the 2 non-human royal families. With a heavily injured body, he can barely unleash an outburst. He can forget about recovering to his peak in his entire life. A non-human king roared. However, the 2 of them were blocked by the tall and thin man. The Titan longhorn beetle's huge body rushed towards Dandan and the others. Buzz. Even the first non-human expert couldn't block his roar. His body trembled and he retreated. The bodies of the 2 ordinary foreign heavenly emperors exploded, and their bodies and souls were destroyed. A large number of non-humans below the heavenly emperor level died. The Titan longhorn beetle's huge body came to Dandan and the others' side. A wave of power rolled them up and rushed toward Earth One and Thunder One. "Brother Lu Ming!" Pow Pow cried out, her eyes staring straight ahead. At this moment, the big hand that was grabbing Lu Ming had already retracted and disappeared in the space of eternal nothingness. The Titan longhorn beetle also sighed inwardly. It wasn't that he didn't want to save her, but that he couldn't. The other party was too strong. He was in existence at the peak of the heavenly emperor realm, a true peak expert. If he was at his peak, he could compete with the other party. Unfortunately, he had been seriously injured in the ancient battle and had not recovered yet. His strength had been greatly reduced and he was not the other party's opponent at all. "Let's go," inform the Heaven Realm experts and send people to guard this place. The Titan longhorn beetle activated another wave of power and swept up Earth One and Thunder One, flying into the distance at top speed. Damn it! The 2 non-human kings roared and attacked crazily, trying to kill the tall and thin man. However, the tall and thin man's strength was above the Titan longhorn beetle's. At this moment, he didn't care about his injuries and erupted with a shocking attack, forcing back the 2 people in one fell swoop. His figure flickered, shattering the void and disappearing. The 2 non-human kings' faces were extremely dark. The rest of you retreat to our realm first. When the passage is fully opened, attack here. The heaven realm and the primordial realm will fall into the hands of our race sooner or later. A non-human king shouted and then turned around. Not long after, Dandan, Bubbles, 2E, Lei, the Titan longhorn beetle, and the tall and thin man gathered on a mountain peak in the Yuan continent. Titan, 9 lives, this time, many thanks for your rescue. Dandan sighed. I also accidentally discovered the abnormality here, so I asked the Titan to come with me. I didn't expect to encounter this scene. The tall, thin man sighed. This tall and thin man was the 9 lives devilish silkworm, one of the top 10 battle beasts. Brother Lu Ming, will he be alright? Bubble was extremely worried. I don't think so. Lu Ming's bloodline has an astonishing origin. Judging from the conversation just now, the other party wouldn't kill Lu Ming. Dandan said. During the previous battle, the other party had shouted not to kill Lu Ming and would kill everyone else without mercy. This made Dandan think of many things. I hope so. Earth 1 and Thunder 1 side. Let's go back to the heaven realm and spread the news. Dandan said. Then, everyone's figures flashed and they left the place. Chapter 2407, Evil God World, Awakens. In an ancient secret chamber in the Evil God realm, Lu Ming lay in the middle of the room, his entire body shrouded in a thick blood aura and killing intent. There were more than 10 figures standing around Lu Ming. More than half of these figures were purple-haired non-human royalty. The few people who were at the entrance of the passage earlier were all here. The other alien races also had powerful auras and were terrifying. These were the top experts of the evil god tribe. Even the weakest of them had a cultivation base of 4-star heavenly emperor or above. At that moment, more than a dozen of the foreign kinds were staring at Lu Ming with burning eyes. It's really the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. I didn't expect that the sacred ancestor Bloodheart didn't die in the battle that year. She left behind her natal bloodline and was reborn in the body of a human. This is really unexpected. An old man sighed. This old man was also a member of the royal family, but he was very old. His face was full of wrinkles and his purple hair had lost its luster. The heavens are really blessing our race. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart is still alive, and our race will definitely be able to level the heavenly realm, break the realm, and open the sky, achieving supreme glory. That's right. When the time comes, I'll be as easy as turning over a hand to flatten the heaven realm. Ancestral Dragon, don't even think about stopping our tribe. The other non-humans were all excited and laughed. They were waiting for the sacred ancestor Bloodheart to wake up. However, at this moment, their expressions changed drastically. This was because Lu Ming's body was emitting another kind of radiance. Buzz. Lu Ming's body trembled and a stone tablet appeared, growing rapidly. The stone tablet kept shaking and emitted layers of black light that surged toward Lu Ming's body. That's right, this steel was the prison-guarding steel. The light emitted by the prison-suppressing steel gushed into Lu Ming's body and emitted a terrifying suppressive force, suppressing the blood-red light of the third bloodline. Kill, kill, kill. The blood-red radiance roared continuously, as if it wanted to destroy Lu Ming and replace him. However, the prison-suppressing steel glowed brightly and its suppressing power was extremely strong. It kept suppressing the blood-red chi. The blood-red aura emitted by the third bloodline was suppressed by the prison-suppressing steel's power. It slowly wriggled and retracted back into Lu Ming's body. The blood aura in Lu Ming's body slowly became thinner. More than a dozen outsiders were dumbfounded. The prison-guarding steel. It's the prison-guarding steel. Damn it. Why is the prison-guarding steel in this man's body? Damn it. I understand now. The prison-suppressing steel is also his bloodline. It's specially used to suppress the Saint Ancestor Bloodheart. What a powerful scheme. Damn it, let's take this prison-suppressing steel out. Not bad. A dozen foreign kinds shouted. Boom, boom, boom. 3 outsiders attacked at the same time. Their cultivation bases were shockingly powerful, and each of them was a 5-star Celestial Emperor and a 6-star Celestial Emperor. The 3 of them attacked. Their powers formed a sealing force that enveloped the prison-suppressing steel, trying to separate it from Lu Ming's body. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The prison-suppressing steel shook violently, and Lu Ming's body shook slightly. Strip! The three of them roared and exploded with their full power. However, at this moment, the prison-suppressing steel suddenly trembled and shone brightly. A terrifying power spread out from the prison-suppressing steel, as if it could suppress the heavens. Bang, bang, bang. The three foreign kinds' powerful beings trembled as if they had suffered a terrible attack. They retreated and spat out a mouthful of blood, their faces pale. No wonder it's the prison-guarding steel. That person's natal weapon is extraordinary. Even if it's not complete, the power it contains is still shocking. Let's attack together. A dignified non-human royal family member said. All right, let's attack together. The others nodded. Immediately, a terrifying aura was emitted from the bodies of the dozen foreign kinds. The weakest among them was a 4-star great emperor, and the strongest was a peak heavenly emperor. A dozen of them together could sweep across the world. At the same time, more than a dozen people attacked together. More than a dozen rays of light turned into a sealing force, trying to seal the prison-suppressing steel and then strip it out. Buzz. Whoosh. The prison-suppressing steel started to shake crazily. Then it began to grow in size, and a terrifying power burst out from it. The strength of this force was actually above that of more than a dozen foreign races. Buzz. In the end, the prison-suppressing steel suddenly shook, and an even more terrifying power spread out, directly destroying the sealing power of more than a dozen foreign tribes. Moreover, more than a dozen foreign people were shaken by the power of the prison-guarding steel and kept retreating. A few of the weaker ones hit the wall of the secret room, their faces pale and blood oozing from their mouths. More than a dozen foreign kinds had unsightly expressions. With their strength, they could not do anything to the prison-suppressing steel. Damn it, the power of the prison-guarding steel is too strong. Not to mention us, even an unrivaled master would not be able to extract it, unless it was someone of the same level. An old man said with an ugly expression. The other people's faces were a little gloomy. Where could they find people of the same level? Could it be that they had to ask the old ancestor to make a move? However, the old ancestor had been seriously injured in the battle back then and had been in a deep sleep. How could he make a move now? What do we do? Someone asked. There's only one way to strip the prison-suppressing steel, and that's to make this kid do it willingly. As long as he cooperates, it'll be easy to strip the prison-suppressing steel, and Saint Ancestor Bloodheart will wake up. The dignified non-human royal clan member said. This kid will cooperate? The others didn't quite believe it. There's no other way. We can only wait for him to wake up. The dignified royal said. With no other choice, everyone could only wait. The prison-suppressing steel hovered above Lu Ming. Its radiance grew brighter and brighter, forming waves of suppressive force that surged into Lu Ming's body. The blood-colored mist on Lu Ming's body slowly faded. Lu Ming's consciousness had fallen into darkness. He seemed to be floating in the darkness. He had no concept of time and did not know how long he had been floating. After an unknown period of time, a beam of light shot through the darkness. Lu Ming dashed toward the beam of light. Boom! Lu Ming felt a shock in his head and his consciousness recovered in an instant. What happened? That's right, we discovered that the alien races were trying to open the passage. We went to stop them, and a terrifying battle occurred. I've been borrowing the power of the third bloodline like crazy. There's also the Titan Longhorn. I've been caught. Lu Ming muttered. Everything appeared in his mind. Dandan, Bubbles, Earth 1, Thunder 1, and the rest, how are they? With the Titan Longhorn and the others around, it should be fine, right? Lu Ming was worried and he opened his eyes abruptly. What came into view was a secret room. In the secret room, there were pieces of luminous stones inlaid, which illuminated the secret room as if it was daytime. A purple-haired middle-aged man with a square face and an imposing manner looked at Lu Ming with his hands behind his back. There was no one else other than him. You're finally awake. You're Lu Ming, right? The dignified middle-aged man spoke. Even his voice was filled with dignity. Who are you? Wait, you're from a different race. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed as he saw a third eye in between the other party's eyebrows. The royal family of the alien race. A thought flashed across Lu Ming's mind. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.